and Philadelphia's largest baby shower. For further info, prolifeunion.org.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Friday, June 23rd. It is indeed Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app. And, of course, streaming live for your video viewing pleasures on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning, 855-839-1210. That is how you climb aboard Twitter and Instagram, the radio station at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, K-A-Y-A-L. Dawn Stensland with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. As we have made it to Friday, weekend is upon us. Woo-hoo. Let's have some fun. Dawn, how are you?
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Gregory.
Happy Friday.
Almost time for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. And before you know it, it'll be Monday, and we'll just do it all over again.
Don't say that.
It's the way it works around here.
Don't say that.
Oh, we got some good stuff to get to this morning. The Biden clown show continues. The Titanic Titan submersible apparently just gone like that. Nobody felt a thing. I guess that's how you want to go out if you're going to go. And by the way, 34 years ago today, the movie Batman came out with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
How many years ago?
34 years ago today.
Wow, 1989.
That is correct.
Nice.
Tie in a little Jack and a little Joker to the Titan submersible. As Jack said, if you're going to go with a smile.
Yeah.
Maybe those guys and gals did. Maybe they did not.
No, no. I mean, there's more details now.
Yes.
How it probably happened.
And also when it happened.
Yeah.
And who knew what, when, and where. And why and how. All that coming up as we continue this morning. And, of course, some big news with I-95 that Dawn will get to in just a moment. But it's great to have everybody in. We got a lot of good stuff in the first hour, including the rise of RFK Jr. with just really the coverage that he is receiving in the media. Also, Pennsylvania minimum wage. It's going to double up very soon. We'll give you those specifics. And a lot of stories with science. Apparently, attractive women are usually right-wingers, and left-wing women are ugly. And a short daytime nap is great for a healthier, aging brain.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So we've got all sorts of goodies to get to
Science
this
you
morning.
like, therefore it's
That's
true.
That's right. I'll take science I like for 200, Mr. Trebek.
You're no better than all the scientists we mock.
That's right.
This science is what I believe,
That's
so
right.
therefore it's correct.
I pick and choose the science I believe in, a la carte. And I'm sticking to my story. But speaking of stories, let's get to Dawn Stensland. It is round one of the news at 6:05 on this Friday morning.
Frive.
Yes.
Friday.
I combined five and Friday. Frive.
Yes, on this Friday morning, June 23rd, noon today, is when the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation says the temporary I-95 will reopen.
Did you see they're basically cattle chutes, aren't they? How are we going to get through three? Like, is it going to be one car at a time? I don't know.
It's going to be a guy with his hand up. All right, come on. You're next. Let's go.
You know, they got
It's
it
going to be a
done.
tight squeeze, guys.
Come on. It collapsed June 11th, about 2 weeks, and now you're complaining about the lanes.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it looks like it's going to be a tight squeeze, doesn't it?
Some people like a tight squeeze.
Well, okay.
Drive slowly. Governor Josh Shapiro's office says that the 6 lanes of traffic will reopen to motorists noon today, and I guess they're going to take a quick victory lap at 10:30, holding a news conference.
You know what? I got to give Shapiro and anybody else involved in this process a lot of credit. 12 days. That's a quick turnaround. Yeah. Very good job.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yep.
I thought I sent you guys the story yesterday because I love that NASCAR is somehow involved. So NASCAR sent a jet dryer to help the I-95 repair work in the Northeast.
And just
This
when
is
you
NASCAR.
a nice workout of the NASCAR.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, when they paved it, it would dry faster?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they have like this, picture. Greg Stocker has that dreamy, shagadelic haircut.
That's what I use in the morning to dry my hair.
It's his hair dryer. Like the Fabio look with the hair blowing.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Anyway, so noon today, they expect to open these temporary 6 lanes.
It brings up an interesting point, though. Like, it's great that we've done this in this amount of time. Like, honestly, kudos to everybody who worked. I mean, everybody's giving Shapiro the credit, I guess, because he's the leader. I guess he gets the credit for it. But kudos to the men and women who worked on this around the clock to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it also begs the question of why does every other construction project take so damn long?
I know.
Cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah.
We just need cameras
Yes.
around the clock.
Yep.
Round the clock.
Live streams of these things.
And then I think the actual, those doing the construction, the work, maybe they should get like a sponsor because they're on camera.
Yes.
They could be our future. They probably would have more credibility. They could do news and have more credibility than, MSNBC, CNN,
Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, we'll talk moving forward. It's pretty amazing that NASCAR jet dryer from Pocono Raceway that would keep the asphalt on the new roadway dry so they could paint it and all of that. It's a chopper engine. It's pretty cool. I love it. We have another story that is, unfortunately, it's a disturbing story, and a lot of people speaking out about this. Police are looking for 5 people who attacked this teenager on a basketball court in Haverford Township. This is Delaware County. And investigators say that the bystanders recorded the video of the attack. And so a lot of people are saying, what in the world what's the world coming to? Because though at least one bystander recorded the attack, it did lead to at least one arrest. So they feel like they know who they're looking for. But apparently they were doing this because they were after this kid's shoes.
Oh, boy. We're still stealing other people's shoes?
Yeah.
I think we did that back in 1995.
15-year-old boy. I mean, they beat him, punched him, kicked him. And until he's laying on the ground, still beating him. He's bloody. So he's recovering now. But somebody did record it at least. And then other kids ran to get a neighbor.
You know what the biggest issue I feel like today is with all of these assaults is you have one of two options. You either intervene and try to stop the threat and end up like Daniel Penny or Jordan Williams, or you just pull out your phone and start recording to document it. Like those are your two options nowadays.
Yeah, well put.
Right? Like be the good Samaritan or be the recorder of the video.
Yeah, that's so true.
So
I know that we'll talk a lot about the 3 p.m. news conference yesterday. We knew, thanks to Sky News at about 2 o'clock, that family and friends were being notified of the implosion and that all 5 crew members aboard the Titan below the Atlantic, somewhere not so far from the Titanic wreckage, are all presumed dead.
It is obviously a tragedy, but we always talk about when, you get woke, you go broke. I mean, this literally might have cost these people their lives. We talked about that contract, that deaths, the mentioning of death within the waiver 3 times on the first page. And remember the portion of the story that we talked about how this company essentially went cheap by going for, they were looking for people younger or
more inspirational.
More inspirational.
They didn't want 50-year-old white guys.
Well, maybe
they
the
wanted
50-year-old white guy would have done the better job. I don't know.
Yeah.
But sad.
It's it's a real tragedy and a lot of questions. So we'll talk about it moving forward. Phillies, and I know it was Odyssey Day to go to the Phillies game yesterday. It didn't go so well for Kyle Schwarber, unfortunately. It looked like we would win this one against the Atlanta Braves. So we fell to the Braves 5-0 in that 10th inning, and Kyle Schwarber dropped it. He dropped it.
I know.
Butterfinger.
For as great as he's been with the bat in the month of June, that was kind of an indefensible play on defense.
Butterfingers.
Yeah. And now I think the Phillies are what are they, 10 games back?
Yep.
Yeah. And they only play him 7 more times, I think.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out yesterday, they don't meet the Braves again until September.
Great. Good to know. Sounds like a wild card at best for the Phillies.
Well, you can't go there.
We need, you know what? They've cooled off a little
Negativity.
bit. I think it's time to send Zioli back down to our nation's capital. Even when the Phillies aren't playing the Nationals, maybe Rich should just broadcast remotely from Washington, D.C. Get this season turned right back around.
Well, we start a new series today, this evening, against the Mets. So let's hope we just pull her out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Let's just pummel New York.
Keep hope alive.
Exactly.
NBC 10 first alert forecast, all important forecast because it's Friday. So we do have these showers, these intermittent showers throughout today and throughout the weekend. So 79 today, in the low 80s over the weekend, 82 for your Saturday, 83 for your Sunday. But unfortunately, it'll feel humid and storms and showers moving through. So I don't see any washouts in the NBC 10 first alert forecast, but we do have showers moving through each day. And that's Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much.
By the way, Michael Keane on YouTube, broadcasting broadcasting live on YouTube, he says it's not the cameras keeping them honest, it's the unions didn't have a say as in related to the I-95 work.
Okay. So we appreciate that. Let's get to the final big take of the week.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
The Biden clown show continues. Not only is Joe Biden the most incompetent president of my lifetime and probably of all time, but he is also the most corrupt. Everything the government and media has tried to tell you is in Donald Trump or to pin on Donald Trump, Joe Biden actually is. After 8 years, the weaponized DOJ has been relegated to overcharging Trump in a Manhattan court over $130,000 to tell a adult film star to be quiet, led by a prosecutor who does everything but prosecute crimes, and most recently to the former president taking documents back to Mar-a-Lago. Everything else along the way proven to be a hoax, disinformation, or a complete falsehood. But when it comes to Joe Biden, it's okay. He's a Democrat. He's a lifelong swamper. And he can live his life under the mantra of rules for thee, but not for me. A brand new bombshell dropped yesterday as IRS whistleblowers now say that Biden's DOJ stonewalled charges on Hunter Biden not once, but twice. They undercharged him. They tipped Hunter Biden off about a search in his storage unit. And then they went on to kill evidence that directly ties this to his father, Joe Biden. Double standard, two-tier justice system, both applicable and pretty much undeniable. Let's take a listen to House Ways and Means Chair Jason Smith as he details multiple felony charges and specifics about Hunter Biden's business dealings. Listen.
Not one, but two IRS employees are blowing the whistle with evidence that the federal government is not treating taxpayers equally when enforcing tax laws. The whistleblowers were working on an investigation into Hunter Biden that opened in November of 2018 as an offshoot of a separate corporate investigation by the IRS. Let me emphasize, this was an investigation in the ordinary course of work at the IRS. It was not ordered by any individual, any chairman, or any political entity. The testimony we released today shows the IRS recommended charges against Hunter Biden that included attempt to evade or defeat tax, a felony, fraud or false statements, a felony, and willful failure to file returns, supply information, or pay tax. These tax crimes cover an estimated $2.2 million in unreported tax on global income streams to Mr. Biden and his associates from Ukraine, Romania, and China, totaling $17.3 million from 2014 to 2019. Mr. Biden personally received $8.3 million.
3 felonies, 3 nations, almost $9 million. And what does that get Hunter Biden? That gets him a sweetheart deal. It must be nice to be protected by the United States Attorney General, Merrick Garland, and his compromised, corrupt, and crooked Department of Justice. Must be nice when your dad is the big guy as well. And keep in mind, Joe Biden has said on the record, quote, I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings, end quote. And we now know that is a 100% lie. Dan Bishop, Republican congressman of North Carolina, posted the following on Twitter yesterday. It is a screenshot of a text message from July 30th, 2017 on the WhatsApp Messenger app. It is a text from Hunter Biden to Henry Zhao, where Hunter Biden writes the following. I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. End quote. Folks, that isn't a text message exchange between a bookie and some Eagles fan who lost $500 on the Super Bowl. That's the president, his son, and corruption with a foreign nation, not to mention threats and, most importantly, direct evidence that contradicts what Joe Biden has said in the past about his son and his business dealings. Miranda Devine, columnist for the New York Post, posted the actual screenshot of the text message on her Twitter yesterday if you would like to see the actual evidence for yourself. Is that it? No, it gets worse. Tom Bevan of Real Clear Politics posted the following memo yesterday in regards to Joe Biden and the big guy getting 10%. The document reads as follows. On December 3rd, 2020, we had around a 12-hour-long meeting at the United States Attorney's Office in Delaware with the prosecution team. United States Attorney Weiss came in at the beginning of the meeting and jubilantly congratulated the investigative team for keeping the investigation a secret. Weiss was in and out for the rest of the meeting, but it went downhill from there. We shared with the prosecutors our interview with Hunter Biden's associate, Rob Walker. Among other things, we wanted to question Walker about an email that said the following, quote, 10 held by H for the big guy. We had obvious questions like who was H, who the big guy was, and why this percentage was to be held separately with the association hidden. But also Wolf interjected and said she did not want to ask the big guy and stated she did not want to ask questions about dad. When multiple people in the room spoke up and objected that we had to ask, she responded, there's no specific criminality to that line of questioning. It's real simple here, everybody. The DOJ, the FBI, and the IRS, they have interfered with the Hunter Biden probe. Federal officials protected President Biden's son through delaying, divulging, and denying the probe. This is governmental misconduct and an abuse of power. And of course, coincidentally enough, all of this comes a day after it's announced that Hunter Biden will plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax as part of a deal that will keep him out of prison. Forget God save the Queen, man. It's more like God help us all, man. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
Big take on this Friday morning. If you want to jump in, thoughts and reaction, 855-839-1210 on social media at 1210WPHT for the Twitters and the Instagrams. And, of course, you can be a part of the Kayal and Company comment community on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll come back and get some thoughts and reaction to that, as well as the specifics of the Titan submersible yesterday, and also a breaking report from the Wall Street Journal. Just when did the Biden administration know about this? And why would the U.S. Navy know about this on Sunday and yet tell us there was hope up until yesterday? We'll get into all those details and those specifics when we continue. Friday edition, Kayal and Company, just underway on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Water quality continues to be a topic. Ensure your family is drinking clean, pure water with the Kinetico water system from Martin Water Conditioning. The Kinetico system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all natural, delicious water. Put the Martin Water Conditioning family's passion for water to work for you. Do what I did. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. Mention DOM 2023 to receive an exclusive offer. DOM 2023. Visit martinwater.com. martinwater.com.
Are you tired of dealing with those old, inefficient windows in your house? Maybe it's time to go Guida. How about that drafty, beat-up-looking entry door you've painted over more times than you can count? Well, go Guida. Need added protection from the elements with a new storm door? Go Guida. And what about that sliding patio door or garage door you've been meaning to replace? Go Guida. Whatever your home improvement needs are, I suggest you go Guida with the great people at Guida Door and Window. To help get your project started, Guida is offering 20% off all windows and doors while allowing you to start your project with no money down and up to 3 full years to pay it off interest-free. That's right. Receive 20% instant savings with the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. Restrictions apply, offers for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? It's time you finally go Guida. Call today, schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Designers, excavators, engineers, architects, listen up.
What are you doing? We're working here.
If you want to save time, effort, and money on your next underground utility project, start using Pennsylvania One Call System's Coordinate PA application. Coordinate PA is the next generation of utility coordination that allows you to easily transfer and manage your complex projects from start to finish, all the way from the designer to the excavator. Be prepared for your next underground utility project with Coordinate PA.
Makes sense.
Visit pa1call.org to learn more.
You can shed that fat and be slimmer for this summer. No more wearing cover-ups or t-shirts in the pool. NJ Diet will help you the natural way. There are no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Locations throughout the East Coast or available from home with live online video consultations. 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com, njdiet.com.
In the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, get a head start on a career in exciting fields, including science, communications, engineering, and medicine, all while earning money for your education. This training will boost your eligibility for a high-paying and rewarding profession, and you can get it all while serving part-time in your community. To learn more about the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com/PA and talk to a recruiter today. Paid for by the Pennsylvania Army National Guard.
From Essington to Cochranville, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
Happy Friday to all of you. 627 as we welcome you back in. Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Nick, Dawn, Greg, 855-839-1210. You can always get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. Many thanks to everybody who is making donations for the bendashore.org bike ride coming up on Sunday, July 23rd, 4 weeks from today. And we are now up to about, the last time I checked last night, I got an email last night saying I received another donation to the tune of $200.
Wow.
So we're like right around $3,500.
That's amazing.
Give or take a few shekels.
That is amazing.
Nice work by people, man.
Yeah, because we just brought this up, last Friday?
Yeah.
It was? Yeah.
Yeah, a week.
Yeah.
So we're almost 80% of the way there with 4 weeks to go.
Yeah. I might get a little greedy. I saw Michael Pelka tweeted out yesterday the link to it.
Yeah.
And he says he thinks we can do 10. I do as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule that out. At this rate, we're talking we could probably get close to 14, 15 grand. 3,500 a week. 2 weeks, that's $7,000. 4 weeks, that's 14.
Look at that math.
Look at that.
Yeah, and it's all for a good cause.
That is
it's all
correct.
that family's behind the badge charity.
Yes.
It's just an amazing, amazing group of people.
Yeah.
And hearing Stephanie Mack's story yesterday.
I know.
By the way, if you
story.
haven't heard it, go back on the Odyssey app from yesterday. Listen to from 9:30 till about 10 o'clock yesterday. Just a great story by her. Not a great story,
right?
But you know what I mean. Like,
yes.
Captivating story.
Absolutely.
It makes you want to donate.
Yeah,
about
you
her
feel for her.
husband and,
no doubt. And unlike H and the big guy, I will not get 10%. I will not demand 10% for me in a separate shell account or a separate shell company. Nor will I get on a WhatsApp messenger and start texting you guys saying we had an agreement, we had a deal. We need to get this thing ironed out by the end of today, or there'll be consequences. Much like Hunter Biden told his buddy, Mr. Zal. So if you guys have thoughts on that, 855-839-1210. Not a good day, last couple of days for the Bidens.
Can you imagine being a grown man and being like, my dad is sitting right next to me? Like, ugh.
The entitlement.
Ugh.
But also, it really, when you read that text, that's like a threat. This is like mob stuff. So like when you hear the Biden crime family and James Comer using that phrase, there's kind of some validity to it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting there making threats and harassing people. Hey, make sure this is taken care of. Oh, by the way, I am a very vindictive and vengeful person, and I can hold a grudge. I do cocaine and I have no teeth.
My daddy doesn't like what you're doing to me.
And I don't acknowledge my 4-year-old daughter, even though I give her $20,000 a month. By the way, have you seen Hunter Biden's new teeth? That's a $50,000 job right there. Because if you saw the teeth back in the day when he was on the crack and doing the crack pipe,
yeah,
it destroys your teeth. I mean, his teeth look like somebody in Kensington on Trank. Now all of a sudden he's got $1 billion smile.
Yeah.
You know, he can afford. He made all the big bucks.
He did.
So I guess he could afford to get. I don't know where he goes.
I don't know, but when you get $60,000 a month from Burisma, you can go anywhere you want.
Wow.
I would think. I mean, dental's expensive, but it ain't that expensive when you're the son of the big guy. 855-839-1210. So let's get to the, I almost said the Twitter story, the Titan story, the Titan submersible yesterday, as I know a lot of people were tracking it, and, in the early to mid-afternoon, it became official, and now we're having a lot of conversation as to how quick it happened and when exactly the Navy and perhaps the Biden administration was briefed on this tragedy. So a couple of things. The New York Post with the story, and you have a few of the experts with quotes saying that the doomed Titanic sub would have imploded and killed its crew so fast that the 5 people aboard, quote, never knew it happened. The Coast Guard said the array of debris on the ocean floor around 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic meant the craft would have suffered a, quote, catastrophic implosion sometime after it had been lost 1 hour and 45 minutes into its dive to the wreck, which was 12,500 feet below the surface. And, of course, that was on Sunday. Quote, it was instantaneous before even their brain could even send a type of message to their body that they are having pain. I mean,
wow.
You never want to die a slow, agonizing, painful death. And, I mean, if there's any sort of, like, pauses, or solace is that, you died so quickly you didn't even know it happened. You're just gone.
I'm,
right?
with all the horrible scenarios that could have happened in this, there was never going to be a good outcome.
Right.
Like, let's just say there was never going to be a good outcome in this.
No.
This is the least painful way to die, I guess. So, like, I guess you hope for something like this.
Right.
I mean, it just implodes and you're dead.
Short of dying in your sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that there's a better way to go as far as, checking out officially. Now, obviously, it's terrible. Body won't be recovered. No proper burial. No proper funeral. Closure for family. Things like that. It's a tragedy for sure. But I mean, this is, and Dawn, you've been in news for a long time. We cover a lot of horrible stories, and sadly, most of the news is negative. But when there are these stories that the entire nation kind of becomes glued to the TV for, or glued to their social media and smartphones for, and for the better portion of 4.5, 5 days, that's kind of what America was captivated by.
Yes, there's stories, and as well, I learned a lot about this particular community, and it is indeed a community.
Mm-hmm.
And the all of these explorers, and they actually feel, and I know that there was a story about Elon Musk and Starlink and that sort of thing, that there was a connection between two of the people, but there were stories of even the one gentleman who was killed, presumably is dead, but had done documentaries and had said the next level and the next exploration is really not outer space, it's the deep sea.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole community believed in this. And so they were reminding that these missions were not just, even though this was a pseudo-tourism situation, only 2 were tourists. The other were dedicated explorers who were well known in this so-called community.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that amazing that they said, they're down there, they're capturing images, they're finding new kinds of species while they're down there, etc. I was fascinated by it, and I didn't fully realize the depth of this particular community of explorers.
Mm-hmm.
The other takeaway, since we've talked about the fact that the fact that there was a the teenage son aboard this, there were reports his aunt spoke out last night. She said he did not want to go on this.
Oh.
But it was Father's Day weekend when it launched, and he didn't want to let his dad down, and that was
right.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I know. So he leaves. They leave behind. The mom and daughter
mm-hmm.
are now grieving. The dad and her son. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's brutal. I told you the text I got from Opelka yesterday that he was chatting with a doctor from the Cleveland Clinic, and I read the text on the air about, because we were under the assumption and the belief yesterday that it was, if they were still alive, they were on the verge of running out of oxygen, and it's going to start to get real panicky, and you're going to start to, freak out in there. And he was telling us that the Cleveland Clinic doctor said in those situations, the brain then becomes very greedy for whatever remaining oxygen is left, and it essentially causes a chain reaction where your muscles and organs start to go haywire and go out of control. So that obviously was not the case. And just to kind of explain, I saw a good thread from a scientist on Twitter yesterday that explained how quick and painless this actually is for these people to go out like this. And I'll read this directly. It's a little bit in the weeds and nerdy, but I think most people will be able to process all this. Catastrophic implosion of a submersible explained. When a submarine hull collapses, it moves inward at about 1,500 miles per hour or 2,200 feet per second. The time required for complete collapse is about 1 millisecond. A human brain responds instinctually to stimulus at about 25 milliseconds. The air inside a hub has a fairly high concentration of hydrocarbon vapors. So when the hull collapses, it behaves like a very large piston on a very large diesel engine, and the air auto-ignites and an explosion follows the initial rapid implosion. Large human beings, or as they say here, blobs of fat, which would be humans, incinerate and are turned to ash and dust quicker than you can blink your eye. So, I mean, they were basically, for lack of I know this is wrong, but vaporized. They were just gone.
What you're saying is important, and it was important. They had the French veteran Titanic explorer Paul-Henri Naugelot, who is known as Mr. Titanic, 77 years old.
Can you say that name again one more time
Please,
with the same delivery?
And he actually had done an interview where he had basically, said what you're saying, that when you go down in this kind of, or a submarine or what have you, submersible, and this happens, you're dead before your brain or your body even realizes it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was this sense of relief. I was glued to this for whatever news junkie bizarre reason that I love this stuff.
Yep.
I thought, who was it? Ashley Banfield did a great show on News Nation last night.
Mm-hmm.
I thought her coverage was among the best that I had seen.
Yeah.
And it was really beautiful how they were, first of all, paying tribute to these individuals. They did not trivialize it. In fact, said these were explorers, and they had done these dives. I saw one gentleman went in the exact vehicle that they died in. He took his 13-year-old son
Mm-hmm.
and had gone when it first, I think its first year that it had gone. And
Yeah.
I had no idea about this, but they really did. I thought the coverage on it was extensive, but paid tribute to the fact, even went back to, space and how Christine McCullough, when she blew up in that disaster, that space shuttle disaster, and so on and so forth. But they were saying this is about exploration. These explorers knew the risks. They took the risks. And the only piece of it that I thought was fascinating, they felt that because this involved two tourists who did not necessarily know the risk, even though they signed it and everybody went to that teenager, that was the one piece of this. They said probably the tourism piece of it might be put, a pause might go on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that makes sense to me, that because they want to figure out what caused this thing to implode in this way, because they've done these voyages before.
Yeah. I'm sitting here and I'm watching they're showing some of the highlights of the submersible on Fox News right now. I mean, it's a very small, submersible, and there's 5 people in there, and I'm not a claustrophobic person, but there would be something that freaks me out about getting in something that small with 5 other people. Even if it was like an amusement park ride, like a virtual 3D reality where you feel like maybe you're going down to the bottom of the ocean, much less going to the depths that they were on their path to go see the Titanic. I mean, you really have to be invested in this, love it, committed to it, and have the money to do it, and just a curiosity factor to get in some. I mean, it is no bigger than, I would say a mid-sized car. It doesn't look like it's any bigger than like your average sedan type vehicle, perhaps even smaller.
Well, what was it, 21 feet? So I just immediately looked at it and thought, 5 people, I saw how they were seated. I said, it reminds me of my minivan.
Yeah.
But I also thought the Coast Guard exercised grace in the news conference. And this is a news reporter in the weeds thing. But, sometimes when you're on a scene, you don't realize that they're trying to tell you something without saying the words because they don't want to be insensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for example, when they said this is such a hostile environment, they didn't want to say these people have been blown to bits, or sharks or what have you would have gone in. It's even though sharks are not down at that level, but ultimately if there's debris.
Sure.
They were so classy in the way that the news conferences were held.
Mm-hmm.
And just an example of that, I remember there was a huge fire here. And one of us had asked in Philadelphia, a firefighter, a fire chief, well, what about the people that were on the 3rd floor?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this explosion and fire. And the chief said something to the effect of, well, everything and everybody ended up in the basement,
right.
Meaning the rubble. And, sometimes these officials, I feel for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand this is a news in the weeds thing, but sometimes I do feel for them when they're in these news conference tragic situations,
right.
And they don't want to give the grisly details.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that the Coast Guard and all the officials, they were so classy in the way that they spoke and respectful.
Yeah. Speaking of officials and details, the Wall Street Journal with breaking news after this story became official that these people were no longer able to be recovered. Apparently, the U.S. Navy heard what it believed was the Titan implosion days ago. That, according to an exclusive breaking news story late in the afternoon yesterday from the Wall Street Journal. Because if you remember, we were talking about how somebody was hearing banging and they were picking up on noise, and we didn't know if it was somebody, banging, help, get us out, if it was just random metal pieces banging off of some object. But a top-secret military acoustic detection system designed to spot enemy submarines first heard what the U.S. Navy suspected was the Titan submersible implosion hours after the submersible began its voyage, officials involved in the search said. The Navy began listening to the Titan almost as soon as the sub lost communications. That, according to a top U.S. defense official. Shortly after submersible's disappearance on Sunday, the U.S. system detected what it suspected was the sound of an implosion near the debris site that was discovered yesterday and reported its findings to the Coast Guard commander on site, U.S. defense officials said. While the Navy couldn't say definitively that the sound came from the Titan, the discovery played a role in narrowing the scope of the search for the vessel before its debris was discovered yesterday. Quote, the U.S. Navy conducted an analysis of acoustic data and detected an anomaly consistent with an implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan submersible was operating when communications were lost, a senior U.S. Navy official told the Wall Street Journal in a statement. While not definitive, this information was immediately shared with the incident commander to assist with the ongoing search and rescue mission. To continue our mission as a search and rescue and make every effort to save the lives on board, officials decided, according to one U.S. Navy statement. So let's think about this for a second. If the Navy knew about this at some point Sunday night and had a very strong feeling and belief that this, in fact, the sound that we heard on our acoustic detection system that they use to detect, obviously, foreign threats, trying to get close to the United States with some sort of submarine or some voyage, why were we led on to believe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that these people could still be alive, down to their final 24 hours of oxygen, increased search and rescue efforts, all this buildup? Hey, we got to make one last-ditch effort to see if we can find these people and see if we have survivors or what we can do. And then yesterday, a lot of people on social media started automatically thinking that the Biden administration was aware of this and, of course, played it out and then released this information after Hunter and Joe's debacles the last few days.
I don't think it. To me, if you look back, and that's part of what I'm referring to when I even say how classy they were. If you look back now that you know what you know now, and look back at the news conferences where the Coast Guard commander kept saying, well, this is a very complex search. They knew. And I, in fact, think that those in this exploration, the sea, deep sea exploration community, I think they all knew. I think the families knew what was likely. I really do. Right. I think they all knew what was likely. Did they hold out hope and pray that perhaps something else happened? But the sound issue, and we talked about that sound issue, that's why they can hear whales, the song of the whales, from hundreds and hundreds of miles away. Underwater, that sound carries. If you had an implosion to this level, somebody would have, you would think, would have captured it, and they don't want to give up national security secrets, but they have all this, they obviously have all this detection material. So it all fits together to me that they pretty much knew what happened. That's why we kept going, what are they waiting for? Why are they going with the rovers? Wherever they were methodical. They were allowed to be methodical, in my opinion. And so they went in, they found it very quickly. Once they got those, robotic rover things that went down there with the mechanical arms, they pretty much knew where they were looking. They found it pretty quickly, and now they continue the search. And so it has to do with undersea exploration, because now they have an excuse, and they have all the dollars and the money, by the way, with the Coast Guard. Right. Now they can do a lot of other exploration and have the excuse, right, to do this. But I don't, on this one, I don't actually have a conspiracy theory that, this was the Bidens. I don't think it's that.
But do you think they actually had a really strong feeling Sunday night that this was, in fact, the implosion they heard?
I started to lose hope when I started seeing those news conferences and the wording, just from covering this for years and years, just the way in which, when you see that they're being very careful as to how they're wording these things.
Yep.
And he kept saying, this is a very complex search. I forget the exact wording, but I thought, okay, this is the talking point that they have, because they already know a whole lot.
855-839-1210. The phone number, 855-839-1210. Are the Dems slow walking Joe to the exit? That is coming up on the other side. But first, a word for my friends at DuckDuckGo. If you are tired of being tracked and spied on every time you fire up your Google Chrome or any browser in-app, we've got the solution for you, the DuckDuckGo app. Companies like Google, they use your data to create detailed profiles about you that even include your info, your friends, your family. Well, you can put a stop to that today with local company DuckDuckGo. If you're tired of seeing ads that know your location, DuckDuckGo is the solution. It is the #2 mobile search engine in the United States, Canada, the UK, Australia, and more. And they rack up 3 billion private searches a month and have a 4.7 average rating on Apple and Google Play. The best you can get is a 5, and they're pretty close. With more than 3.5 million reviews, the reviews are in, and DuckDuckGo is the way to go. Searching for a golf course, perhaps a hard-to-find bottle of bourbon or a nice bottle of wine, what time Donald Trump will speak coming up on Fox News tonight. All the answers are right there on DuckDuckGo. It's your one-shop app of choice to avoid being traced. Privacy, security, respect, all without being heckled by big tech. DuckDuckGo is available on Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac. Download today for free in the App Store or visit DuckDuckGo.com.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
Check out the Outlaw Festival with Willie Nelson at The Man August 5th. See One Fine Day with Sting and Shaggy at The Man September 9th. And Squeeze and the Psychedelic Furs at the Met September 13th. The Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson, One Fine Day with Sting and Shaggy, and Squeeze and the Psychedelic Furs. For tickets and info, go to livenation.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want a beautiful home that's easy to maintain? I've been telling you about a great company that does just that. John Gilgee is here to tell you in his own words. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield, reminding you that spring is here and Rhino Shield is ready to help you paint your home for the last time. Our permanent exterior house paint is not ordinary paint. It's a ceramic house coating that goes on like paint and looks like paint, but is guaranteed for 25 years. If your home's exterior isn't looking as good as you'd like, Rhino Shield is the solution you've been looking for. It's affordable because you only have to paint one last time, and it protects your home with a durable and waterproof coating that goes on any exterior surface. Find out why so many of your neighbors are choosing the permanent paint solution from Rhino Shield by calling to schedule your free estimate today at 844-RHINO-99. That's 844-744-6699.
Hey, this is Mike Quick. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point-of-sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success. PDQ POS is the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS system available. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team will create a custom game plan that will help your business succeed. Visit PDQPOS.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The temporary lanes on I-95 are ready to open back up to drivers this afternoon, less than 2 weeks after the collapse. Philadelphia City Council gave its final approval on a $6.2 billion budget. All 5 aboard the Titan submersible are presumed dead, and debris shows evidence of a catastrophic implosion.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
You know, I love nights like this. Some nights this week have been cool nights. Sometimes we have these hot nights. Whatever it is, I can just adjust my Spring Dance hot tub. If it's a cooler night, crank up the heat and the jets. It feels so good. And then, the other piece of it is you can actually cool it down a little bit on hot days and nights. A lot of people don't realize that. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, you've got to try it. Spring Dance hot tubs are the best in the privacy of my own backyard, or for me, it's my back patio, actually. But now through June 26, TikTok, we only have a few days left of this. When you buy a select hot spring spa, you can get up to a $1,000 instant rebate. This is an incredible, incredible deal, and it's only lasting for another few days. Stop by one of their 4 area showrooms. You want to talk to their wellness experts to learn more about this sale. Plus, you can schedule a time, and this is what I'm talking about. Just bring your swimsuit. Seriously, try out a spa. Try it out before you buy. And make this summer one to remember with a new hot tub from Spring Dance Hot Tubs. You can stop by and visit them. They're in Jamison, Exton, Plymouth Meeting, right across from Plymouth Meeting Mall, or Marlton. You can always shop online, springdancehottubs.com. Get one now, springdancehottubs.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Don't let woke win. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Couple of minutes in front of 7 o'clock here on a Friday morning. It is indeed Kayal and Company, Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Dawn will have some news coming up to kick off hour number 2. What's on the cut sheet less than an hour away. And also, the media really ramping up its hatred towards Robert Kennedy. So we will get into a little conversation with Mr. Kennedy coming up in hour number 2. Pennsylvania minimum wage on the rise. Those stories as we work our way towards what's on the cut sheet. But to wrap up the first hour, I just mentioned before we went to break, whether or not we believe the Dems are slow walking Joe to the exit. And I'm not talking about like whether or not Joe knows how to exit stage left or stage right after a speech, because we know after 2.5 years, he still doesn't know which way to go when he wraps up speaking in public. And then somebody's got to, come up and put their arm around. Come on, Joe. Come on, pop up this way. Come off the stage. But are the Dems walking this guy towards the exit for 2024? And I think it's an interesting question to pose. I actually posted a poll on my Twitter yesterday, and I said, in light of all the news lately surrounding Trump and Biden, what is the most likely matchup in 2024? And I posted the 4 options: Biden versus Trump, Biden versus DeSantis, Newsom versus Trump, or Newsom versus DeSantis. Now, the winner was Biden versus Trump, 44%. So what we all kind of think right now at this very moment with 498 days to go. The most voted on second option was Newsom versus DeSantis, as in new blood on both sides, followed by Newsom v. Trump at 21% and Biden v. DeSantis at 12%. So I understand that we have a long way to go, and it's Biden versus Trump right now. But with all the stuff that's coming out with Joe, and we know Joe's getting slaps on the wrist, Hunter's getting sweetheart deals. It's not like the Bidens are being dealt with harshly, but piece by piece, and we know the polling numbers are low. We know the Democrats within the party and the DNC want somebody else. They feel Joe's too old. He's obviously not accomplished a whole heck of a lot. Is it possible that this is, knowing we have 500 days, this is a slow, methodical way of bringing Gavin in the back door? I would not rule it out. I think they're diabolical.
I have a piece of audio that I'll play at 7:45 that backs up your thinking about a Newsom v. DeSantis.
Okay.
Ooh, can't wait for that.
Because I don't think Democrats, especially when it comes to things like, these the whole pronouns and the gender stuff, like I can shoot holes through that real quickly, like we all have on this show, right? But they're very good. They're very diabolical when it comes to elections, when it comes to the candidate, when it comes to the messaging. They don't do it at like the entry level of checkers. They play chess. And you have to give them credit with just how obsessed they are with winning from the standpoint of they'll do whatever the hell it takes. I just feel like this is a slow, hey, let's just slowly bring Joe to the finish line, and then we're gonna yank out the tablecloth from underneath him. And as Bill Murray says in Ghostbusters, and the flowers are still standing.
I think your instinct is, I think you have a great instinct. I remember Nancy Pelosi's daughter saying how her mother was so cutthroat, and she would say, "Off with your head" or something.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And that's what you just made me remember. They're calculated, diabolical, but always coordinated.
Yes. And it's, they're not going to sit there and publicly come out and say, Joe's been terrible. They're not going to, some of them will come out and say, yeah, you can question Joe with the age. It's a fair question to ask. Can anybody be a president at 83, 85, 86 years old, which, Joe will hit those milestones if he gets reelected for a second term. But it's just like deep down inside, they've got to know. And I don't know that they should really feel great about Gavin Newsom because, that state is a hellhole. There's homeless camps in San Francisco. LA's a disaster, crime. People are fleeing the state from top to bottom and heading to Florida or other states to live in. So in a way, I do kind of relish the fact that maybe they would put Gavin out there because I don't think he would win. Whereas I do feel like, especially in, Dawn, you've said this many times, when there's a president dealing with global conflict up for re-election, the trend in America is to stay with the guy. So whether it's Russia, Ukraine, or China, or if you believe that Biden is actually accomplished more than the polling indicates, or if you're one of those people on the left that says, yeah, I know Joe's not great, but damn it, I will vote for him just because I can't have Trump back in office. There's a lot of me that says, yeah, go ahead, bring Gavin out. Okay, that's fine. Because I think Trump could beat Gavin Newsom. Not saying he will, but I think he could. And I think DeSantis could beat him as well.
And this also brings up the what about Kamala question.
No, jeez. and so could you imagine if they rolled out Gavin and Kamala was on that ticket with him?
I think Kamala Harris has an ego about her, and she'll make it all about the fact that she's a woman of color and this is racist. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She won't be laughing then.
No, she will not. The giggles will dry up real quickly, won't they? All right, hour 2 is on the way, 855-839-1210. Dawn will have some news. And then RFK Jr., is it possible that the left hates him more than they hate Trump? Hour 2, next. Stay there.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Hoffman, owner of Mainline Pro Painting. We specialize in painting homes and businesses in the Mainline suburbs and surrounding areas, delivering the highest quality of professionalism, attention to detail, and customer service. We also give back to our community. We recently partnered with Sherwin-Williams and the Travis Manion Foundation in painting the home of U.S. Marine veteran Chris Guarana, in honor of my father, U.S. Army veteran Lawrence Benjamin Noel. To bring your home to life, visit us at mainlinepropainting.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. June means Men's Health Month for Rescue Natural Supplements. We all know how demanding life can be. When juggling work, family, and personal commitments, you need energy and optimal health. So fear not, because Rescue Men's Health Supplements are here for you. For the month of June, save 50% on the products that guys need most. That's half off on testosterone boosters, prostate support, and more. Discover the amazing benefits of Rescue Natural Male, Prime RX, Super Prostate. No code is needed to get 50% off. Just call a Rescue Product Consultant, 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, or shop online by visiting res-q.com. res-q.com. It's not just your physical health. Men's supplements can help your mental well-being too. Again, no code is needed to get 50% off on Rescue Men's Health favorites. Shop res-q.com today, res-q.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra. July 15th at the Ocean City Music Pier and July 22nd at Wildwood Catholic High School. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Businesses to watch, a spotlight on Armin Chevrolet. Armin Chevrolet's sizzling summer sell-down has arrived. So has the all-new, bigger, bolder, and more refined 2024 Chevrolet Trax. With a starting price of only $21,495. Yes, you heard right, $21,495. And all 5 Armin Chevrolet Trax models starting under $25,000. There's sure to be a Trax you love. Armin Chevrolet has over 45 new Chevrolet Trax available, but they're selling fast. Visit ArminChevy.com. Find new roads to Armin Chevrolet, where dealership meets friendship.
We heard you loud and clear. You love the WNBA and want more analysis and insight on your favorite players.
Welcome to Queens of the Court, an Odyssey original podcast. I'm your girl, Cheryl Swoops.
And I'm Jordan Robinson. All season long, we'll be bringing you the post-game analysis that you crave and sitting down for interviews with athletes across the W.
You can listen to Queens of the Court on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you like crab cakes? Know where to get a great one? You need to go to Captain Chucky's Crab Cake Company. 6 varieties of crab cakes, succulent shrimp, soups, chowders, wild-caught seafood, and desserts. Great food, fair price, the best shopping experience. We love crabcakes.com.
Yo, Collegeville. Follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
They put a parking lot on a piece of land where the supermarket used to stand.
Yeah, buddy. Kayal and Company, 7:04. Hour 2 underway here on a Friday morning. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Nick Kayal, Dawn Stenzel, and Greg Stocker. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo as we head till 10 o'clock. 855-839-1210 is how you jump in if you want to get involved in the show on the phones. Social media at 1210 WPHT, Twitter and Instagram. Stream us on the Odyssey app. You can also watch us on YouTube. Are we trending in the right direction, Mr. Stocker, for likes on the YouTube channel today?
It's a good thing.
With today's
it's
presentation.
a good thing you've asked that, Nick Kayal. Let me just pull it up here and see where.
Closing in on today's presentation.
Yeah.
What, 4,000 subscribers? We're
at 3.71 right now. So, only 42 likes. If you're watching right now, please hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, please subscribe at 1210 WPHT on YouTube. Help us get to our goal of 4,000 by our nation's Independence Day.
That is correct. We're asking for two milestones here, right?
Yeah.
4,000 subscribers by the 4th of July.
Yep.
Just a couple hundred more to go.
Yep.
And we're trying to get to $5,000 for the bike ride in donations.
Yes.
$5,000 by the end of this weekend, I think.
Yes.
I mean, it's not hard. 4,000 and 5,000.
Just
give us your time and your money and your subscribing buttons.
No video happening right now. I wonder why.
Valdez could be in the can.
Well, it's
highly possible.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Yes. Yes. 855-839-1210. All right, so some interesting conversation with RFK Jr.
It's up now. Sorry.
Yeah, he left the video up for a long time after the big take earlier this morning.
Oh, did he?
Where when I went to break and I was like, restacking my papers and getting set for the next segment, I looked down at my monitor and I was still on camera. So I could have been like picking my nose and the whole world would have seen it.
Yeah. I actually think that's way more interesting than I'd much
take?
rather.
I would agree.
Yeah, no. I'd much rather see. I'd much rather see like during the commercial breaks. Like if I was a fan, I would much rather see what happens during the commercial breaks,
right,
than what we're doing while we're on the air.
I mean,
while we're on the air, we're supposed to be being professional.
Well, there have been moments in Philadelphia media over the last 5-6 years where people have had shows that were simulcasted with video.
I've heard that, yeah.
And, hosts like threw their headphones and started cursing out other staff members. And
really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can probably Google that. Actually, I would say, no, don't Google it. DuckDuckGo it.
DuckDuckGo it.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo app.
Thank you.
Yes.
Look at you guys.
See?
Thank you.
Good job.
Slow build here. Slow build.
I'm just glad the camera was still on you because I always try to, right when you start saying, that's the big take, that's when I start running for the hallway to get
for the coffee
first at the coffee machine because I still have you on my phone. So so that and when you just started saying that, I thought, was I busted as I'm running out of the studio?
Brian Walker on YouTube says, love the show, listen to it every day, and broadcast it in my store. Thank you, Brian.
All right.
Wow. What's the store?
I don't know. He doesn't say what the store is. Plug the store. We'll give it We'll give it a plug. Sales will love that.
Yeah,
it's Friday. None of them are working or paying attention.
We're listening.
They'll be here next Tuesday.
Yeah.
At 9:15.
Yeah, 9:15. They'll be running through,
walking past our doors, staring. Oh, so that's where the crazy kooks do that show from. Okay. All right. 7:08. It's time for round 2 of the news, and Dawn Stensland has her coffee, and she has all the information you need.
Yes, and we are sponsored this Friday morning. It's June 23rd. By the way, the Inquirer and all the newspapers are saying the U.S. Supreme Court, 1 year later, tomorrow, June 24th, would be the Dobbs decision anniversary. So they're already putting that out, June 23rd. We are sponsored this morning by Discover Lancaster, and we'll talk about discovering Lancaster in just a moment. But in the news in Philadelphia, one of the big stories that I know affects, at least 1.1 million commuters, drivers, truck drivers, thanks to the 24/7 hard work and efforts of the work crews. It's pretty amazing that I-95 is expected to reopen in less than 5 hours today at noon. We know that Governor Josh Shapiro, as well as other officials, will be on hand starting at 10:30, and they'll have an official unveiling, as they say. So 10:30 live news conference to give out new information and a new timeline for permanent reopening. But this is 6 lanes. Earlier, Greg Stocker had said that it's a little, what did you say?
Tight.
It's going to be tight.
It's going to be a tight squeeze. Have you seen the... It's like a cattle chute. I'm just saying.
Valdez, I need Stocker saying it's a tight squeeze.
No, I know. Enough with the Stocker drops on your board. I'm just gonna not come in one day and you can just do an AI version of me.
And by the way, I got a tweet earlier when we were talking about 95 in the first round of the news. We were asking how it got done so quickly compared to other highways.
Yeah.
One of the guys, and I forget who said it to me now, and I'm paraphrasing. He said it's because of supply chain and the demand that I-95 takes on for commerce and shipments and traveling, which makes it a higher priority than, the blue routes, for example.
Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then there were others who said that it was a union issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure about that because there's still union guys, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Brian Walker just responded. It's the Delmar Pharmacy.
Okay.
So thank you to the Delmar Pharmacy for listening to Kayal and Company every morning.
Yes, your one-stop shop for all big pharma.
If you know where the Delmar Pharmacy is, give them some love.
There you go.
Yes, definitely. We have the other story of the investigation. This is in the suburbs. And this is a 15-year-old who was beaten, by all accounts, beaten to a pulp for his gym shoes. He was in the suburbs playing on a basketball court. This is Haverford Township, Delaware County. And now police are looking for these 5 individuals who attacked this 15-year-old kid on a basketball court. So he goes there in the afternoon to play basketball with other kids and is punched, kicked, beat brutally, even after they punched him to the ground and he was lying there on the ground. They continued to kick him and beat him bloody and then remove the shoes off his feet and steal his gym shoes.
I mean, it's like, it's almost like attempted murder. I mean, you beat him that bad over a pair of shoes.
Jeez.
I mean, I get it. Some of these shoes can be $200-300, but geez, assault and battery for a pair of Michael Jordans? Really?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I was trying to look up what kind I'm assuming they are like that, some some Jordans or whatever, but I don't see the type of shoes. But it happened in the 100 block of Glen Arbor Road in Havertown. They actually, thankfully, one of the bystanders, somebody who was, I guess, there to play basketball with the other kids, did stand by and get some video with their phone.
Mm-hmm.
That led to one arrest, but they're still looking for the 4 others.
I got to tell you, if that guy with the camera and the video is my friend, once I come to and I heal up from the beatdown I just took, I'm going to be like, why didn't you intervene? The hell with recording it. Like, how about stepping in to help me out here as I'm getting, do we know the exact number of kids?
5.
So it was 5 to 1.
So it sounds like, and I don't know how the ages of the bystanders, they might have been, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids.
Right.
These are, the video, according to the video, it looks like bigger teens or maybe 18, plus. So I think there was an intimidation and fear factor that they thought capture the thing on video. So one person captured it on video. Another kid ran and was banging on doors and got a neighbor to come out, call 911, and scare them off.
Boy.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Jeez. By the way, I know that I wanted to give a Pennsylvania legislature update as we're looking now at a move in Pennsylvania State Senate. They voted on this to expand a ban on texting while driving. So this was just approved. The legislation was approved yesterday. It obviously now goes to the House of Representatives, in Pennsylvania here. But we first banned texting while driving back in 2012. Now, with all the technology, they're saying there's no excuse, and we're seeing this uptick in distracted drivers. Or how many times have we reported on even the beloved principal locally on the main line killed by somebody who was reportedly a distracted driver and so on and so forth. So they're saying there's no excuse.
Yeah.
So now the first offense, it looks like this thing's going to pass. If you're caught or seen texting on your phone while driving, the first offense is punishable by a $150 fine.
Good. I would make it higher. Actually, I would say that's still too lenient. I think we're all guilty of it to some extent. And for a long time, especially over from, I don't know, I would say 2009. Really, when I started commuting from Bethlehem to Philly, when I did sports in 2009, I bet you from 2009 to 2015, when I'm on the Turnpike, Northeast Extension, I was probably guilty of that all the time. And I've become really aware of it, especially in the last 4 or 5 months when I was testing out a lot of vehicles from Piazza. I'm like, I don't care if my phone beeps, vibrates, makes a noise. I've got it in the console. I'm not checking it until I'm at a red light or I'm home. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it's hard to prove, isn't it? How do you, because, now with your phone, you can say, well, it has, I have my Waze on or something. You know what I mean? Like I was just checking to see directions. Like there's ways to get around that. So no, I wasn't texting while driving.
I would, I mean, it pretty much is your word versus the officer, right?
Yeah.
Like if the officer's kind of hiding behind like a side road and you come rolling through a stop sign and he sees you with your phone,
This would increase the penalties for motorists who are handling their cell phones for almost any activity while driving.
Well, that's why they create those dashboard mounts now. Like for Uber drivers and Waze, and you put it up there and then it's hands-free, right?
Well, you can listen to the Odyssey app hands-free.
Oh,
yes.
You can just put it up on your dashboard if you're driving right now, your phone on your dashboard, hit the Odyssey app, hit 1210 WPHT. Don't forget to favorite it.
I tell you what, I would love to know in your story here, and of course, I don't expect anybody to have this off the top of their head, but how many accidents and or fatalities a year are caused by drunk driving versus distracted driving with your phone? I'd be willing to bet that more people are causing issues because of the phone than being inebriated behind the wheel.
I would agree with that.
That would just be a guess
I would
on my
agree
part.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look those stats up, but I think that's a great point. And I think now there's one exception, and that is if you're calling 911, if there's an emergency in the vehicle or something, there are some exceptions that are reasonable.
Yep.
We've talked a lot, so I'll just headline the tragedy with the implosion, and we've talked a lot about that with the Titan, and now underway is the continuing investigation, more of a recovery as well as a search, undersea recovery. As we now know, the 5 crew members of the Titan are presumed dead. That's headlining. And then a whole lot of news with Hunter Biden, the Biden family that Nick Kayal has talked about this morning. So much happening. But we are sponsored this morning by Discover Lancaster, calling all ice cream lovers, indulge in Lancaster County's mouthwatering ice cream trail. Sample delectable flavors at charming local creameries. Oh my gosh, this is made for my dad. Discover sweet delights around every corner. Find the trail at discoverlancaster.com today. Real quick here, I'll just talk about our Phils and the weather, because our Phillies, unfortunately, we lost 5-0 to the Atlanta Braves, and it was a shortened series, obviously, because of the weather delay and then cancellation. So that game midweek will not be until September 11th next fall. So now the Philadelphia Phillies, starting this 3-game series at home against the New York Mets, and that's this evening. So we've gone 19-13 in home games and 38-36 overall. So Phillies are 13-6 in games when the Phils did not give up a home run. Unfortunately, it was a little Butterfingers case with Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Schwarber got a little sloppy.
Sorry.
Sloppy Schwarber.
Well, it happens. Yeah. Just what is it? What did he have? 3 errors this whole 3 errors this whole season so far.
Yeah.
I thought of that.
That's what I used to have in a game when I played slow pitch softball.
Yeah, you're like his mom. Like well, you only had 3 this whole. Like,
he had 3.
Yeah,
imagine in your job.
He's being paid millions. He's being paid millions of dollars to not drop balls. So don't drop balls.
Really
My
pisses me
Lord.
off.
Well, you tried your best. No, that's not good enough.
Oh.
Catch the freaking ball.
The Greg Stocker Show coming up Saturday night at 7 on Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Well, you only had 3, and you've been so good in June. No.
Dawn, I think we're onto something here. Stocker on sports. I mean, it could be like a weekend show down the hall.
No, it's not. I'm done.
See, this is the yin and yang of why, moms are always like, well, honey, you did your best. And dads are like, what? You had 3 errors.
Yeah.
No excuse, son.
My dad used to give me that side-eyed look like I had a bad game, and I knew it was going to be a rough ride home.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was that dad. Yeah.
Yelling or just the quiet treatment?
I'd get everything. It just depended on the day and how bad I played that day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't like, you did your best, Nikki. No, that's not the speech I ever got.
So today in the NBC 10 first alert forecast, the high today is 77 degrees, scattered thunderstorms this morning, and then mainly cloudy during the rest of the afternoon with thunderstorms, likely just intermittent thunderstorms with that high of 77 degrees. Chance of rain today, although I don't know that it'll be a constant soaking rain. It'll be in and out, but we're looking at a 90% chance of rain throughout the day in these with these scattered thunderstorms. And then for your weekend, we warm up into the 80s. 82 for Saturday, 86 for Sunday. So we will see the sun. The sun will come out. But for example, for Saturday, those scattered thunderstorms and then a little bit windy, 10-mile-an-hour winds, and the chance for rain for your Saturday, 60%. And it looks like a 50-50 chance for those thunderstorms on Sunday with a high of 86. Again, it'll be that situation where the sun is out and then maybe a few hours in the afternoon, those scattered T-storms, thunder, lightning move through. So if you're out, for example, golfing, you want to get off the golf course if that lightning threat is happening, and as well the beach. So be safe, baby. This is Kayal & Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 7:21 as we continue here on this Friday morning. Dawn mentioned Joe Biden briefly, as well as an ice cream sponsor, I believe, in there. I just saw this on the TV. So grocery store inflation, the top 3 most inflated items from a cost standpoint, 2 of which Joe Biden, as we know, because he eats like a child, are items that Joe consumes heavily. So the third highest inflation bump at a grocery store is beer at 9%. So for all of you hardworking Americans that like anything but a Bud Light after a 40-hour work week, you're paying 9% more. Number 2 is ice cream at 11%. Joe loves some ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream. Remember, he's got big gallons of it in his refrigerator at $1,600. And number 1 is cookies at 14%. We know Joe likes chocolate chip cookie ice cream. So this whole Biden inflation stuff that we're all angry about, Joe's actually hurting himself along the way at 14% and 11% with cookies and ice cream. Figured I would pass that along. Valdez has some good stats for us on the deaths by drunken driving or distracted driving. According to Daniel Valdez's quick research on the fly, in 2019, we had 10,142 deaths due to intoxicated or inebriated driving, as opposed to 3,142 by distracted. So it's a 3-to-1 advantage still in favor of the drunks over the text messaging crowd.
I just, in this day with Uber and everything, I just find it like
there's no defense for it.
There's no defense for it. I just like what are we doing?
I know. The most distracted driver fatalities came in New Mexico, Alabama, Montana, Washington, and Kentucky. That according to Daniel Valdez. All right, coming up on the other side, RFK Jr. is now being attacked from every major publication, from the LA Times to Time Magazine, on down the list. Is it fair to even wonder if this man, who is running as a Democrat, is more despised by the left than Donald Trump? Is that even remotely possible? We'll entertain the idea on the other side. But first, let me tell you about my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. It's great to finally have the truck. The lease official 4 weeks in as of yesterday with my 2023 Honda Ridgeline truck from Piazza Honda of Springfield. And I absolutely love it. The black edition comes completely loaded, but it's the finances right now that you can take advantage of. A great opportunity to cash in on 0.9% financing for 36 months through July 5th. The Honda Ridgeline, 280 horsepower, V6 engine, capable of towing up to 5,000 pounds. Unique driving modes. You can tackle the snow, the sand, the mud. And of course, it comes with the Honda satellite-linked navigation system, so you don't even need to be on your phone with the Waze app and become distracted. Boom, it's built right into the dashboard. Comes with a truck bed audio system, great for parties and tailgates and big trips. And once again, 0.9% APR for 36 months. But you got to hurry up. That ends on Wednesday, July 5th. If you're a truck person like me, now is the time to visit Piazza Honda in Springfield, Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading. The Piazza Auto Group, 17 brands, 35 locations. My go-to for all things automotive. To find your newer certified pre-owned vehicle today, just visit piazzaautogroup.com.
This is Larry Steinhess of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Applying to college comes with lots of questions. Like, where should I go? What major? Will I like my 2 roommates? What if one snores? Or has a pet tarantula? And how am I going to pay for all this? Luckily, when you get a Citizen student loan with Student Credit Builder, you can make payments while you're in school, which means you can start building credit for when you graduate and say goodbye to roommates with tarantulas. Learn more at citizensbank.com/one-and-done. Citizens, made ready.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill. The energy bill, that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, July 15th at the Ocean City Music Pier on the Boardwalk.
Love the orchestra. I love it.
Joe's great. He encapsulates a Philly sports fan.
Oh, I love the music. I especially like the old songs from Philly.
The impressions of different voices is fantastic.
Charlie Manuel.
Of course, Merrill Reese.
It's fantastic. It's a love letter to the Philadelphia sports fans.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, July 15th in New Jersey at the Ocean City Music Pier. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Water quality continues to be a topic. Ensure your family is drinking clean, pure water with the Connecticut water system from Martin Water Conditioning. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all-natural, delicious water. Put the Martin Water Conditioning family's passion for water to work for you. Do what I did. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. Mention DOM 2023 to receive an exclusive offer. DOM 2023. Visit martinwater.com. martinwater.com.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Kayal and Company rolling on Friday, 855-839-1210 is how you climb aboard. At Nick Kayal on Twitter, Kayal. 7:45, what's on the cut sheet? Just 15 minutes out. I do want to get to this RFK story and this thought in just a moment, but Dawn Stensland is actually better at gathering and collecting facts than a CNN fact checker. She's like Brian Stelter without the resources and the crew behind her to get all this stuff real quickly. And you were able to find some of the Pennsylvania distracted number drivers. And it's apparently the theme is that it's on the rise since, or starting with the pandemic. So I feel like everything is on the rise because of having lived what we had to live the last 3 years.
Yeah, I thought that was fascinating in the sense that the pandemic just disrupted everything. That's the bottom line, right?
Right.
So they said that the state recorded 274 distracted driving deaths from 2017 to 2021. Prior to that, it looked like they were falling, in 2018, but then rose in 2021. So I just think a piece of this, though, that's important is that they're undercounted.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you prove it unless somebody admits or you get a subpoena and look up that look up their phone records?
Correct.
And I think that's why the instinct is, hey, this is how many times do you see somebody and they cut you off and they're looking down on their phone?
Yes. And also I notice it a lot when you're at a red light and the light turns green and 4 seconds go by and you're trying to be patient, you're not trying to be the horn guy, and you just know that they're at the light, their foot on the brake, and they're scrolling Facebook.
Yep.
Because they literally can't pay attention to the road and focus on that for the 90 seconds they're probably at that light.
Yeah.
So they got to preoccupied. Now, also with these numbers, here's my interesting takeaway, or at least I think it's interesting. The numbers went up during the pandemic in 2021. Keep in mind, a lot of people were off the roads a lot less, off the roads a lot more, on the roads a lot less. I'll get that correct. Working remotely from home. Yet, so you would think traffic has gone down a little bit, yet these fatalities because of this, distraction go up, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So
it does show you that all of the habits changed. It just disrupted the workflow. I saw a story with Comcast, and they're still trying to get workers back and negotiating. People don't want to come back to work.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately it just disrupted people's patterns, their habits, their work routine. The routine, I guess, is a piece of it, right?
Yep. No doubt about it. 855-839-1210 is the number. So yesterday, and really for the last 2 days, I have seen a lot of columns written about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And this also, I think, started with and stems from a bit of the Joe Rogan debate where he said, because Joe Rogan had Kennedy on his podcast on Spotify, and they issued the challenge that Joe Rogan said, I will moderate a vaccine efficacy debate between Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Dr. Peter Hotez, who's one of those guys that you saw a lot throughout the pandemic on mainstream media, specifically CNN. And he was one of, if they weren't trotting out Fauci, they were giving you Sanjay Gupta and Dr. Peter Hotez, Rochelle Walensky, and a few other select members of the esteemed science fraternity. So Robert F. Kennedy, one of the things that works against him for his likelihood and his odds and chances of becoming the president is the fact that he is very much anti-vaccine on a lot of issues when it comes to getting these sorts of shots. And a lot of it started with years ago when he really started to wonder, why are so many children developing autism, being born autistic? And he links it, and there's never really been any claim one way or the other, whether, I mean, the mainstream media, the scientists, the left, they say he's completely crazy, yet nobody can really figure out why, starting in the late 80s, we saw this increase in autism, other than the fact that Kennedy has said that is about the time when vaccinations for children really began to ramp up, especially as they enter school. So you have the LA Times with the headline, column, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a threat to your health and our democracy. Coming up later this summer, I'm sure they'll say he's a white supremacist. Then you have a column in Time magazine, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is dead wrong about vaccines. And you go down, there's a lot of publications out there, and they're all, and we know with the left and with the mainstream, they all jump aboard the same talking points. And while they outnumber conservative media 8-1, 10-1, they all just kind of publish the same type of stuff. If you read one, you've read them all, basically. And last night, Tucker Carlson released episode 6 of Tucker on Twitter, and he spent like 17 minutes on how Bobby Kennedy is winning. Not winning the Democratic side, not winning an election, but he's just out there in the media, and he is front and center, and he's being covered a lot obsessively. And it got me thinking last night, and I had this thought of, is it even remotely possible to ponder that the left could maybe hate this guy more than they do Trump? And now you say, well, come on. Trump's been in their crosshair for 8 years. They despise the guy. I get it. But in large part, they despise him because he's a Republican and he's the outsider. He's the businessman turned politician that had unbelievable success. He defeated the swamp monster and Hillary Clinton and on down the list. And we could go through all the reasons why people hate Trump, and you could do that show every day of the week. But with Kennedy, he's a Democrat, right? But he's a fringe Democrat. He believes in free speech. He's a guy who has been silenced and censored and suppressed for years. He's the redheaded stepchild of the Kennedy family Democratic estate. He's a lot like my wife's uncle. My wife's uncle, who I've mentioned on this show, very right-wing on certain things, super left-wing on other things, and so right and so left that they wrap back around and they kind of touch each other on the butt cheeks. That's how close they are, right? And I've mentioned him on this show. That's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is my wife's uncle. He's anti-vax. He's free speech. My wife's uncle, same thing. My wife's uncle, he thinks Sandy Hook was staged, 9/11. Like, he's into those theories. But then he's also super left with the environment and healthcare and those sorts of things. So it's really, and if you think about it, Joe Rogan kind of the same way, Elon Musk kind of the same way, where they might be labeled and registered as a Democrat, but they've got a lot of right-wing thoughts, but also a lot of super left thoughts as well. And I'm wondering if RFK Jr. is at the point now. And if you think about this, you've got Biden, you've got Trump, and then in a distant third is DeSantis. RFK is not even in the top 3 of options right now to be the president of the United States. Yet maybe this is just a brief period of time. Maybe the media is like, I've got Trump fatigue. I need 2 weeks off from Trump. We've already labeled Ron DeSantis, he's a racist. Floridians, but black people, if you're traveling to Florida, you're not safe. We had that little stretch where it was all the negativity towards DeSantis right around the Twitter Spaces launch of his campaign. But now it seems like the media has their crosshairs on RFK Jr. And I just want to ask the audience, if you want to call, that's fine. If you want to send us a tweet, if you want to comment in the YouTube section, that's great. Is RFK Jr. getting close to the Trump level of hatred from the media? And I thought it was interesting. 2 days ago, I had to stick around after Wednesday. I had a lunch with one of the bosses, and I had some time to kill before the cafeteria, the little restaurant opened up. And Dawn, when you were off, Mary Walter took a phone call from somebody that said RFK Jr. would be a great president, and he had really no reason to explain why. Couldn't explain why, just that he's from the Kennedy family and he's pretty smart. And I'm thinking, well, that makes you a presidential candidate. And if you think about it, RFK's body of work, he doesn't really have a big history at all of being involved in politics from holding an office standpoint. So I don't think he would be a great president at all. But the media is obsessed with him because he says a few things that you're not supposed to say or believe if you're a Dem. Do you think that they are gearing up to show their vitriol towards him like they do Trump, or is it a totally separate stratosphere? And I get it. Trump's been in the crosshairs for 8 years.
Yeah, I think it's that Kennedy mystique, but I think as he becomes more of a problem for Democrats, I think that you'll see it ramped up, the hatred and the vitriol by the so-called mainstream media. But I don't think in all honesty, I don't think he's the threat against Biden.
Right.
He's just an annoyance, and again,
Americans, he's polling at 16 to 20%,
which is kind of unbelievable for somebody coming out and saying, "Hey, I want to run."
To be fair, it's kind of where DeSantis is against Trump, right?
So there's that. I just will say this, that whole, and he's been an anti-vaxxer for a very long time, but he is the problem, and the reason that the media is talking about him with regard to when he talks about autism. And that was, I remember when Michael was born in 2004, that was at the center of that whole thing with MMR vaccines, measles, mumps, rubella.
Right.
I was so freaked out about it. I separated out. My pediatrician at CHOP said you can separate out these vaccines because I was so worried for when both of my boys were born because of all of this. If you look up Andrew Jeremy Wakefield, he was the British anti-vax activist who then he put forth a study in the Lancet. It was published. Then the Lancet ultimately, revoked that. It turned out that he was involved there was a lawsuit and there were test kits. He allegedly was altering his research, and it was for a purpose of, tens of millions of dollars and that sort of thing. To this day, he denies that, but he was pretty much, over the years, he was debunked.
Yeah.
His research was faulty, and it's really sad to me that he created that link where he said there was this so-called casual link between MMR vaccine and autism. I have in New Jersey where autism rates, they still can't explain it.
Yep.
New Jersey is one of those states where, and I have relatives with kids, multiple kids born with autism in New Jersey. This is such a touchy issue for people. And I really wish that for somebody like Kennedy with the Kennedy name would just get together that research. If you want to look into vaccines, fine.
Yeah.
But that autism piece, that link has been debunked.
Yeah. And he's really gone down with the ship in that regard. Like he hasn't come off that stance. And when you look at the anti-vax approach, you look at how he's been censored. He just had another interview yanked off of YouTube. And then throw in the fact that when you look at and here's the thing about Kennedy. I don't know his stance on many issues or policies because all we hear about is the free speech, the vaccine, and he's also a believer, obviously in the deep state, family related, obviously to the man who was assassinated, and many people believe, the CIA or somebody else took him out. So he's got these like bullet points working for him that make him more right than left. And it's almost like the Dems want no part of him. And this is where I will kind of criticize him, is I need to know where you are on, and he's gone to the border, so I give him credit for that, something Kamala Harris does not do. But what is your stance on the economy, inflation, crime, southern border, the drug issue in this country, the homelessness issue in this country? What's your stance on Russia, Ukraine? What do you believe about China? A lot of the main, topical categories that you need to declare where you stand on certain issues. I don't know that the average American that has seen 5 minutes of him on TV knows where he stands with any of that. So in that regard, he is so branded by the left and also to his own undoing and his own fault. He needs to be more well presented by him and his team. I know he did a Twitter Spaces, was with Elon Musk, I believe, a few weeks ago. It was like a Monday at 2 p.m. thing. And it's like, by and large, the average casual political observer, whenever they get RFK Jr. in their feed or their timeline, is, it's the crazy Kennedy that's anti-vaccine. So he hasn't really done a great job at separating and distancing himself from those kind of entry-level things that you see on social media. So if I'm advising him, I'm like, dude, you got to get out there on the real issues right now. Like, enough of the vaccine with the autism thing. You're not going to win the presidency of the United States on something like that. So,
I mean, Nick, to your point, the bigger issue I would say is what has he built? What has he done?
That's correct.
I know he's a lawyer and he's an environmental lawyer and all of that, but what executive kind of decisions have you ever made?
Right.
And I think we always look to that. Governor DeSantis, if you like him or don't like him, he has run a state and he has made those executive decisions, right? That he did pretty well in the face of the pandemic. So he has been somebody who has run a very large state in the country through very tumultuous times.
Yes.
Former President Trump was somebody who obviously built an empire. And maybe some people say, well, he inherited some money. Well, he did pretty well with that money.
You got to have not only CEO qualities, but you have to have CEO level responsibility and success to come along with it. And he does not have that.
Yeah, what have you built? What have you done?
Right.
How many people have you ever really managed?
Correct. Absolutely. Well said. 7:46 Friday morning. Enough of RFK Jr. Let's get to what's on the cut sheet.
What's on the cut sheet?
What's on the cut sheet on this Friday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, where they have ample inventory of brand new and beautiful pre-owned Volvos. Enjoy the luxury experience you deserve. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Thank you, Cherry Hill Volvo, for sponsoring the ever important and usually the best edition, the Friday edition of What's on the Cut Sheet. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to happen. Elon Musk v. Mark Zuckerberg in the octagon.
Let's go.
How do we, yesterday we brought it up. It was just a rumor. I said it's two spoiled billionaires that just want to get more attention for themselves. But apparently I was wrong, which happens frequently. But Dana White, the head of the UFC, was on TMZ yesterday, and he confirmed that they are in fact serious about this. He was on the phone with each of them for an hour and a half. Each of them are damn serious about it. It's going to happen.
Proceeds go to charity?
All the proceeds go to charity because they don't need the money.
Okay.
Let's hear from Dana White, and then let's discuss.
Can we be excited about this? Is there a possibility this is really going to happen?
Well, just to give some clarification. So what he said is Mark Zuckerberg responded with "send me location," which is something that Habib Nurmagomedov says when people challenge him. So that was what "send me location" meant. And I was talking to both Elon and Mark last night. Both guys are absolutely dead serious about this.
Now, wait. Tell us why you say that.
Because they both said, yeah, we'll do it. They both want to do it. Mark Zuckerberg hit me up first and said, is he serious? And I said, I don't know. Let me ask him. I asked him, and he said, yeah, I'm dead serious. Obviously and I agree with you, Harvey, this would be the biggest fight ever in the history of the world.
Yep.
Bigger than anything that's ever been done. It would break all pay-per-view records. These guys would raise, hundreds of millions of dollars for charity. And, you don't have to be a fight fan to be interested in this fight. Everybody would want to see it.
You would be at the helm here. So is this something you're taking seriously? Is it something you're already trying to organize? Give us a lowdown.
So, yeah, I'm taking it Lorenzo Fertitta called me this morning. Station Casinos in Las Vegas is putting a lineup on this today. I'm taking it. Listen, if these guys are serious, I make fights that people want to see. That's what I do for a living. Yeah. So if they really want to do it and they're serious and we can figure it out and figure out a way to pull this off, I would absolutely positively do this.
Now, keep in mind, Dana White used to employ Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan was the announcer for UFC.
He still does.
Does he still do it? Okay. I haven't watched a UFC fight in years.
Elon Musk is 6'2".
Yeah.
I know you're saying, oh, Mark Zuckerberg, he's
5'8".
Yeah, he's 5'7". By all accounts. He's
trained in jiu-jitsu, I believe?
I'm taller than freaking Mark Zuckerberg. He's a little wimpy guy.
Right.
That doesn't matter.
Like, he's a little petite guy.
He knows how to use other people's weight against them.
No, the jiu-jitsu thing is he's serious about it. Dana White goes on and says he's a legit jiu-jitsu guy.
Well, size does matter when you're in these fights.
Damn right it does, Dawn.
It does not.
Hell yes,
absolutely.
When it comes to men fighting, no, really,
we'll do it live.
Size does matter.
Yes.
I mean, 6'2". Come on.
I'm 6'2", and somebody 5'8" who is trained in jiu-jitsu could kick my butt.
That's not totally wrong. You're not off base with that. But the experts have already weighed in. The odds makers have installed Elon Musk as a -150 favorite, Mark Zuckerberg +110 as the underdog. I told Dorenzo a couple of minutes ago because he printed out this story. I told Dorenzo, you're giving me Zuckerberg plus money, and he's got the training. I'm taking Zuckerberg.
Yeah, me too.
Dorenzo, who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm going to take Zuckerberg.
What is
are you calling for the Titanic submersible?
What is happening?
He's with the expedition crew. Anthony, be careful, honey.
I'm taking Zuckerberg as well. As much as we always talk up Elon, he's so much more in shape. It looks like. I think Elon was quoted as saying the only exercise he does is throwing his kids in the air. So if that's true, he's walking into a big problem here.
Rich Scioli threw out his shoulder, throwing up his kids in the air.
Got to be careful with that.
Let us not forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Rich Scioli is Mr. Glass. I mean, like, you touch him and he breaks. I mean, give me a break.
So, all right, here's the question. I'll tell you right now, if this does come to fruition and it's $79.99 plus tax and fees on pay-per-view, not only will I buy it, I will host a viewing party.
I'll be there.
I will cater it. We'll have drinks. We'll have food and snacks. The whole bit. We'll live stream it on YouTube.
You said yesterday that you want to go to Vegas for this.
I do.
If this is going to happen, we're going to Vegas for this.
Okay.
This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has the walrus move, which is hysterical.
Yeah. And look, if we can't go to Vegas, maybe we get Bet Parks. We'll host a viewer watch party with 1210. It'd be great. Be great. You got one guy who suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story for the New York Post, who I'll be wagering on. So don't ever tell me I'm a partisan hack, because I still think Zuckerberg would beat Musk, against the guy who I love more, who has reinstalled free speech, but for the most part, back on Twitter.
Well, call Baldini and let's get a watch party at Parks.
Let's do it.
Come on.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Crab fries and gambling.
Let me.
Although I'd much rather just fly to Vegas.
Yeah. Let's finish with more of Dana White.
And did they both say that they absolutely would only do it for charity?
I don't think either one of them need any money. So
no, they definitely don't need it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a money thing for either one of them. I think they would both, they both talked about how much that they could raise for charity. It would be a massive number. That they could both pick a charity that they both care about and crazy money.
Yeah. Do we have a rough date? Are we talking later this year? Are we talking next year? How much training time do either of them want or need?
Probably spent an hour and a half on the phone with both of them last night.
Wow.
I don't know. These are early stages. We'll see how it plays out.
Look, we've seen Zuckerberg doing, he can fight. I mean, by the accounts of people he's been training with. Well, we've seen it. We've seen it in contests. He can fight.
Yes,
but does Elon have any combat sports background, or is he just going in winging it?
Mark takes the sport very seriously. He trains very hard. He actually is good at jiu-jitsu. He's good at stand-up. And Elon
see his little arms?
tells me that
Look at arm length,
he's done
too.
martial arts, he's done jiu-jitsu, and he says, people might not think this of me, but I've been in plenty of fights growing up in South Africa.
So Elon Musk said he's been in plenty of fights growing up in South Africa.
Yeah.
I still have my money on.
Look at the little arms. Zuckerberg's got these little squirrel arms. I mean, look at the arm length. And then you think of a guy who's 6'2". He's got these long arms. He's just a bigger guy.
Zuck is now a 5-1 favorite, according to Dorenzo. Musk is a 3-1 underdog. Wow.
Which I think is good for Elon Musk. Let him be the underdog.
Yeah. All right, Don, you can jump on the plus
arm
300.
length. If you're a little guy, the big guy can just hold his head.
Nothing to do with size. You're so wrong on this.
Why do they have weight classes then when they fight? Why do they have weight classes?
It has nothing to do with size. It is everything to do with training.
Please. Then why do they have weight classes?
Let's bring this back into our wheelhouse. So are you saying that a 170-pound female who now transitions to a male would still lose to the 130-pound biological male? How about that for a mind bleep?
I know. Well, Mark Zuckerberg, even his little petite little self, could beat any woman who's a 6'2" woman. But Elon Musk I'm telling you, why do we have, in sports, why does size matter? Look at the NBA draft right now. Look how excited they get. Or not draft. Right?
Yeah.
They're in
NBA
the midst
draft's
of it,
coming up.
even though the Sixers didn't. Well, the Sixers overnight, they didn't have a first-round draft pick or whatever.
Oh, was it last night?
Didn't it start last night?
I'm checked out of sports.
Anyway,
I don't know.
look at what goes on. They look at the size of a basketball player, a football player.
Yeah.
Because you can't teach size. And why do they have the weight classes? Why in wrestling do they have to diet and do their weight
It's a
classes?
valid point, Dawn.
Because
very good
I'm
point.
a mom of athletes. I know this stuff.
She's a mom of teen boys, so therefore she knows all about everything.
She's a mom of teen boys.
Nobody else is a mom of teen boys. Everybody else, go screw yourself.
My boy's grocery bill is ridiculous.
And they get the coaches. They're thrilled when they see somebody 6'3", 6'4". You look at these guys. Some of these guys 6'7".
I'll tell you what I'm more intrigued by. Not so much about the fight, but the entrance music of each guy coming down to the cage. Like, let's take guesses here. I mean, any idea as to what their entrance theme would be? As you go from the back locker room down to the cage?
Musk would have some, like, South African tribal music or something.
Zuckerberg comes out to, like, some, like, hip-hop song.
And I'm also going to say this. If you have somebody in his little, training sessions, here's Zuckerberg. Oh, let me put my grande skim vanilla latte down, and I'm going to have my private training session in the all-white gym wearing my all-white outfit, and let me have my 2 private trainers. When you have somebody who's done any level of street fighting who's got the fight in them, very different.
Your kids have a lot of street training on the mean streets of Chestnut Hill, Dawn.
I never said that.
My kids are combat fighting experts.
Keith Martin on YouTube. By the way, streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. We're only at 84 likes right now, so please hit the like button. Let's get us up to 100 likes before 8 a.m. Keith Martin says weight class means nothing when the small guy is professionally trained. I agree with that. I go back to training. I looked at videos, and if you're watching right now on YouTube, you saw the video of Zuckerberg training. Training matters. You know what I mean?
But look at his little arms. Oh, my arms are longer than his petite little squirrel arms.
Yeah, his reach is very small.
Look at that. So when they're going to punch, right? Isn't a piece of this? You got to punch and kick.
Yeah.
Well, look at his little legs and his little arms. I mean, Elon Musk can lean out and just put his hand on his head, and Zuckerberg can't even reach him.
I'll tell you what, though, that's the one thing I hate about UFC is the kicking element. Like, remember back in the day when you get into a schoolyard skerfuffle, and somebody, you're ready to one guy's ready to punch, and the other guy's throwing kicks?
Don't shoot the messenger. I just read the messages. Soggy Donuts on YouTube says the autistic versus the alien.
Oh, gee. Oh, my God. Well, speaking of size matters, Valdez is texting in our group text here saying, just saying I could get my ass kicked. I have nothing to contribute. So do we think if Valdez at 5'4", 118 pounds after a bag of Cheetos is trained in jiu-jitsu or whatever, do we think that he would wipe out Dorenzo, who's probably got him by 35 pounds? Or would we say Dorenzo would be the favorite because he's bigger? But not trained.
But I'm talking about in every way. Elon Musk is like 6'1.5", 6'2".
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, look at who Zuckerberg is in this one training video.
Yeah.
If Zuckerberg is 5'7", he's training with a dude who's like 5'3", so that he looks bigger in the video, because remember, we all knew his story from the Ivy League and how the whole reason he started this company is because he was a wimpy guy, not that good looking, and wanted to get chicks.
Yeah.
That was his whole premise for getting Facebook.
See, if I'm Vince McMahon, here's where I jump into the fray now. I say, the hell with you guys fighting for real and potentially injuring yourself. Why don't you guys fight in a scripted match at WrestleMania next year in Philadelphia?
Woo!
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a poll up on the YouTube channel or the YouTube page. Who would win, Zuck or Elon? Elon is winning right now at 69%.
Elon at 69%?
I think that people are just like Kipper82 says Twitter has to beat Facebook. I think people are letting, and Dawn is one of them, is letting their because they love Elon Musk, so therefore he has to win.
I mean, the line is screaming, take Zuck. He's a minus 500 favorite. So this is like, the Eagles and the Cowboys. Like, I can, and I have, and I will continue. When I feel like betting on the Cowboys is the right move to make money against the Eagles, I can do it. I place wagers with my head, not my heart. Deep down in my gut, I'd love to see Elon drop Zuckerberg in 9 seconds. But I think Zuckerberg would win.
No.
Andrew Patrick says Elon will train like a madman until the day of the fight. I do agree with that.
Oh, of course.
He will train and he will learn the moves because he's got that
he's got
focus.
He's got the time. What else does Elon Musk do?
I'm looking at Elon with his arms. He's like giving a speech, and his arms are outstretched.
Mm-hmm.
He's got these long arms, long legs. He's just in every way longer and bigger. And in that kind of a situation, come on.
Who's got the darker side to him? Like, if they go into that, I'm going to snap and lose my ever-loving mind mode.
Oh, that's definitely Zuckerberg.
You think? See, I would think that's Musk. I think Musk has a dark, deranged side to him.
Zuckerberg has some demons. But
yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's because he couldn't get laid when he was growing up. Doesn't mean he's tough. That's why he created Facebook.
That's a good point. No, but I do think that there's something.
Elon, by the way, doesn't have that problem. He's quite the ladies' man.
Yeah. He's got a lot of kids with a lot of different women.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how I feel about that, but he brought free speech back, so he can do whatever he wants.
He has how many baby mamas does he have?
I think he has 9. He's like Sean Kemp, this old player in the NBA back in the 90s.
How did you know that right off the top of your head?
I read about it.
You kind of admire him.
I do. I would like. Hey, how can you not admire somebody that said, you know what, I'll lose $22 billion so that you can tweet?
Yeah.
Paul J. Swanholm on Twitter, Dawn, says, have you heard of Bruce Lee? It's true. He was a small guy.
Yeah.
But he could kick some serious butt.
That's right.
Except if you watched Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay, but...
that story where Bruce Lee got his butt kicked.
But the difference is, first of all, Bruce Lee was an actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, but he was a real life badass.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, though, he did that professionally, though, right?
Yes.
He was a professional American martial artist and actor.
A lot of Asian actors are actually really badass in real life. From Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan did all of his own stunts in movies, and of course Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid. It was all him.
But did Bruce Lee actually take on somebody who was, I don't know I'm looking up his size, but I'm just saying, I don't think Zuckerberg has ever actually done this professionally. He's had trainers.
He's had professional help.
Like, he's had personal trainers.
Right.
It's different. I'm just saying.
And what is causing this fight? Like, where did this stem from? Is this because Zuckerberg is trying to launch his own version of Twitter?
Yep.
Okay.
Interesting, right?
Which I don't get. Like, why would you? You already own Instagram and Facebook, which allows you, everybody thinks just, Facebook's for posting pictures. Like, you can post, 280 character messages on Facebook and Instagram.
What?
You can share your opinions there.
Shane on YouTube says, Zuck's opponents let him win. They want to keep their jobs.
Yep. See? That's what I'm going toward.
That's hysterical.
And by the way, I looked this up. Did Bruce Lee fight bigger guys? There is no record or footage of Bruce Lee ever beating anybody bigger than him.
Wow.
So he's 5'7".
He's a bully.
No, he's 5'7", but he fought people his same size.
By the way, the phones are just exploding right now.
Of course
nobody wanted to talk about Joe Biden and Hunter, but they want to talk about Elon and Musk. It's like back in the day when I was doing sports and nobody wanted to talk about the Eagles that day, but they wanted to talk about what soda I drank. The phone lines explode. Remarkable. Do you want me to take these calls or you want to continue on?
No,
All right, let's take some calls.
We've triggered everything.
Yeah, we have. Let me grab line 2. Pete is in Delaware. Pete, you're on Talk Radio 1210. You go right ahead, sir.
No, I was just saying, I agree with you guys 90% of the time, but I got to disagree with Dawn. I think Bruce Lee kick anybody's butt.
Thank you.
All right, so Pete
Have a good day.
You got it, Pete. Let's grab one more fight prediction. Let's get Steven in Doylestown. Steven, you go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say Zuckerberg can train all he wants, but I think Tyson said once he gets that first hit, it's all out the window. He's going to get his butt kicked. But
it's a good point. Mike Tyson once said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Tyson is another great example. He wasn't a big guy.
No.
He was actually a small guy.
Yeah, he was 5'8".
Okay, maybe 5'8", but look at the size of it.
Right,
I mean,
come
on. And you're talking about a professional, Tyson professional. even Lee was professional. This is what he did. Zuckerberg has little personal trainers that he trains with for his health or whatever.
See,
He's not a professional fighter.
This would be a
Very
great
different.
opportunity for a fighter to train Elon because Zuckerberg already has some of the training. He's got that kind of, that MMA jiu-jitsu element down. So I would actually train Elon Musk. If I'm Mike Tyson right now, be like, don't worry about the kicks and the takedowns. I'll give you all you need to know with your two fists. And then Elon goes in there as kind of like the boxing background and then just drops a 1-2 on Zuckerberg.
Chris Eppolito, our buddy, says, for your information, Musk has 10 children with 3 mothers. Wow.
Oh, I thought he had 9. But he must have scooped up another one. Yeah, but I didn't think I said he had 9 different women. I think I said 9
I thought
kids.
you said women. I was
No,
like, wow,
no,
baby
no.
mamas.
No.
It's a lot of kids.
I know.
I guess he can afford them.
Yeah, if Hunter Biden's paying $20,000 a month in child support, what is Elon Musk paying?
Yeah.
He's got to be Kanye West level. Minimum.
So I teased this earlier, why I think that, we were talking about predictions for the 2024, who will actually run. DeSantis v. Gavin Newsom.
Yep.
DeSantis v. Newsom. Why I think this is going to happen? Because Ron DeSantis just released a new campaign ad where he was in San Francisco talking about how crappy the streets are and the crime is in San Francisco, taking a direct shot, I would assume, at Gavin Newsom. Here's the DeSantis ad. This is cut 2, Daniel.
We're here in the once great city of San Francisco. We came in here and we saw people defecating on the street. We saw people using heroin. We saw people smoking crack cocaine. And you look around, the city is not vibrant anymore. It's really collapsed because of leftist policies. And these policies have caused people to flee this area. They don't prosecute criminals like they do in most parts of the country. And the wreckage has really, really been sad to see. And so I've seen so many businesses boarded up. I've seen so much riffraff just running around. And it just shows you these policies matter. Leadership matters. They are doing it wrong here. No wonder why we've had so many people move from San Francisco to Florida over the last few years. We got to stop this madness. We need to restore sanity to this country.
Boy, he's awkward.
Yes. And he's also in an odd predicament because you're sitting there recording that in San Francisco and you see all that, carnage in first person. But I mean, the reality is Gavin Newsom has been obsessed with Florida for years. And DeSantis really doesn't acknowledge California other than when Newsom is on his high horse about Florida for some reason. And he just hits back with people are fleeing your state and people are coming to my state. I wonder if deep down both of them off the record feel like they are going to be the guy in 24.
Well, why else would he run an ad in San Francisco criticizing? Like, I get it. Like, liberal-run cities. I understand that's the narrative. But, he chose San Francisco. He could have done any city. He could have done any blue city.
Done Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, L.A., you name it. But it is odd because of the timing. I mean, it's June of 2023. I mean, gun to your head, you would probably say that's probably the matchup in 2028.
Yeah.
Like, we're 5 years away from that. So why are they campaigning against each other now?
Yes, everybody's commenting that it sounded like gunshots behind him. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
He was right next to like one of those underpasses where cars were driving over, and it sounds like a gunshot, but it wasn't. By the way, Dawn, your most controversial opinion that you've ever dropped on this radio program is that size matters. Size matters in fights. Everybody is going after you on this.
Size matters. I'm sticking with that.
I was once told it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean. Just saying.
It's Friday.
Bob Irving says on Twitter, contact Elon Musk and propose that if Zuckerberg wins, Bruno gets reinstated.
I love that. Good one.
Former President Barack Obama. So before I move in, does that sway you at all, Nick Kayal, Don Stenslin, that it's going to be DeSantis v. Newsom?
No, I'm going to, at this very moment, I'm sticking with the I do not believe Biden or Trump will be disqualified, and I think we will have a rematch at this very moment. Opinion subject to change based on new information.
Dawn?
We're still a year and a half out.
I know.
Anything could happen. That's the crazy piece of this. Anything could happen.
500 days.
They both, most likely, I think, would be in, but you know what? They both could be out. One or both could be out.
But it does seem like Ron DeSantis is running against Gavin Newsom, right? And Gavin Newsom
Feels
is running
like
against
Right.
Ron DeSantis. That's all I'm saying.
How great would it be if all of a sudden, speaking of these like ridiculous ideas of somebody other than Biden versus Trump, if all of a sudden Trump for the next couple of weeks on Truth is going after Gavin Newsom, and we know that apparently they have a good relationship and they maintained it through COVID, and then all of a sudden Biden starts taking swipes at DeSantis. Now all of a sudden it feels like a mixed tag match of Trump and Biden going after other people besides the two of each other. It's really odd if you think about it.
It is. Yeah. Former President Barack Obama was on with Christiane Amanpour. He says that Fox News and right-wing radio skew facts and make people fearful of each other.
Oh.
Here's former President Obama discussing disinformation.
Is that partly because of where people are getting information these days, the siloing of information. If you are watching Fox News, I've said this before, if you're watching Fox News or following some right-wing radio host or getting Facebook feeds within that bubble, your reality is different than if you read the New York Times or watch your program. And when people are getting such fundamentally different facts, or what they think to be facts, and their worldviews are so skewed in one direction or another, then it's very hard for democracy to work. So this is the reason why I've been spending a lot of time both in the foundation and in other work, talking about these problems of misinformation, not just the kind of misinformation that we see Putin engaging in the Ukraine situation, not just during election time, but just this constant demonization of the other side, making people fearful of each other. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be a problem that gets even more pronounced with the advent of AI and deep fakes and all these challenges.
And we want to. With all due respect, Mr. Obama, I would counter by saying democracy is not at risk right now. Democracy dies when only one point of view is allowed to be shared, which is what the left tries to do. You think like we think, or we squash you, and you won't have a platform or a voice to be heard. But I would say this. You talk about fear. All the left does is sell fear. They sell fear to the black community. Florida's a racist state. Be careful if you go there for vacation. Fear of dying from COVID. The trans community is under attack.
Is in danger. You're putting them in danger. And
All
what
they do
about?
is sell fear.
I'm sure Christiane Amanpour followed up with saying, well, when you talk about demonization, what about Joe Biden coming to Philadelphia with red lights behind him, talking about those dangerous to democracy MAGA conservatives and MAGA Republicans? Wasn't that divisive?
Yeah, and that's supposed to be the uniter. Joe ran on uniting the country.
But to his credit, I think Obama is correct when he says that more than ever, we now have groups of people, some who just watch, but it's both sides, and he's not calling that out. It's both sides. You have one group of people just watching MSNBC, another group who just watch, whatever, Newsmax and Fox, and so you don't have a place where you have that so-called objective media where all the people can come together and have the conversation.
Right. Well said.
Loyalty. Let's talk about the loyalty pledge. RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel was on with Kayleigh McEnany last night, and she insists that the GOP loyalty pledge will remain even after Kayleigh McEnany says that she doesn't think that Trump will ever sign it. So this was that discussion last night on Fox News.
For the next election. Another question I have for you is this candidate pledge to enter the debate stage. You have to pledge to support the nominee. totally agree with you in principle. Christie calls it a useless idea. Trump, I don't think you'll ever get him to sign that pledge. Do you think you'll have to do away with this pledge in order to not have one person debating themselves?
It's the Republican Party nomination, and the pledge is staying. And anybody who wants to seek the nomination of our party should pledge to support the voters. If you go through this process and you take time on the debate stage and you're going to be there, the number one pledge should be beat Biden. It's called the Beat Biden Pledge for a reason. Because at the end of the day, we all have to be united in one thing. Joe Biden is destroying this country. His policies are making our families less safe. We are less prosperous under him. Our border is open. Crime is rising. Our schools are failing. And if we can't commit that we're going to support who the voters choose as a nominee, then you don't deserve to be on the Republican Party debate stage. So the pledge is staying.
3 things. Number one, I know a lot of people that do not like her. I am in that category as well. I was hoping that she would be replaced. Number 2, she does make some good points there with all the issues under the Biden administration, all completely factual and 100% valid. But this is, and Dawn, you've mentioned this many times, this is where the Democrats, at the end of the day, when it comes down to business, election season, they unite together, they rally together, and they get behind whoever that person might be. And that's, I think, one of the shortcomings of the GOP right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
There's zero chance Trump is going to support.
No.
Well, Trump's going to be the nominee, so it doesn't matter. But
if he would lose, I mean, you would hear stuff like,
DeSantis. Ron has always been a loser.
Yep. So.
When the tragedy was announced, when the tragic details were announced yesterday about the Titan, who better to call in than James Cameron? Because, you know, he made movies about the Titanic
26 years ago,
and did the documentary about the Titanic. So they interviewed him on ABC News yesterday, and he said he was struck by the similarity between the lost sub and the Titanic disaster. They discuss about and I'm sure we're going to discuss this in the upcoming days too, the failure of leadership, I guess, that comes down to. I'm going to play a clip from Dan Crenshaw as well, where he says that there were warning signs, and it seems like the people in charge ignored it.
Yep.
Minds. But because implosion, as Bob described it, such a violent event, is first and foremost in our minds. The pressure boundary, which is what they call the hull of the sub, that the people go inside, is obviously first and foremost in our minds as engineers. And we spend so much time and energy on that. And we use all the computerized tools available today, finite element analysis. We worked on our sphere for our Deep vehicle that went to the Challenger Deep for over 3 years, just in the computer, before we even made the thing. And then, of course, we pressure tested it over and over and over, and so on. So, you know, this is a mature art, and many people in the community were very concerned about this sub, and a number of the top players in the deep submergence engineering community even wrote letters to the company saying that what they were doing was too experimental to carry passengers and that needed to be certified and so on. So I'm struck by the similarity of the Titanic disaster itself, where the captain was repeatedly warned about ice ahead of his ship, and yet he steamed at full speed into an ice field on a moonless night, and many people died as a result. And for a very similar tragedy where warnings went unheeded to take place at the same exact site, with all the diving that's going on all around the world, I think it's just astonishing. It's really quite surreal. And of course, P.H. Nargeolet, the French legendary submersible pilot, a friend of mine. You know, it's a very small community. I've known P.H. for 25 years. For him to have died tragically in this way is almost impossible for me to process.
Yeah, this feels like a failure from a procedural standpoint, a safety standpoint, even an ideology standpoint about what they were looking for in the individuals as far as, well, we want somebody that's interesting, not a 50-year-old man. And you make the comparisons to the Titanic itself, and I know I'm going to cite a moment from the movie, and I don't know if this is
here we go.
the way it happened in real life. But
there's zero chance it happened like that.
No. But the point of being the captain on the Titanic, when he found out that the Titanic had hit the iceberg and was taking on water, he just had this like shocked look on his face, like, wait, my boat, my vessel, the Titanic, this monstrous, behemoth, beautiful piece of, a sailing. Like he was totally stunned. Like he never thought it would be conceivable that his ship would go down.
Yeah,
and it's almost like an ego thing. Like, no, not us. No, we're gonna sail from A to B, and we're gonna arrive in grand fashion. And the next thing you know, it snaps in half and goes down to the bottom of the Atlantic.
There were a lot of warning signs too,
yeah.
And we're getting a lot of tweets and a lot of people commenting that if this thing imploded and they heard it, there's zero chance they didn't hear it when it happened.
Right.
So therefore they knew on Sunday,
which is that Wall Street Journal report. Yeah, that they had a strong suspicion that what they heard on their sensors and detectors and their sound devices that the Navy uses for, safety reasons, that they knew this.
So then why did they call it a rescue mission for as long as they did?
Well, that's where the conspiracy theories start to come out.
Because first of all, they went back and reanalyzed the sound. So they captured it. Their story is that they captured it. They were investigating. Now they've reanalyzed that sound, and it all makes sense. But they don't have the definitive situation because they don't have bodies.
Right. But
right?
you also have to imagine that when you get notified of this potentially being the cause and this being, the implosion on Sunday night, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, okay, you're a couple of 1,000 feet below sea level. You're going down in this little 21-foot thing. It's not like the common conclusion is, yeah, they're probably all right. They're just hanging out down in the bottom of the ocean on the floor and they're playing cards. I think most common sense Americans knew from moment one, they were probably dead.
There were also reports, and I know that Mr. Titanic, the French 77-year-old who is believed to be perished in the implosion, his daughter came out and said, why did they not tell us until 8 hours after they went missing?
Mm-hmm.
So there are questions into this timeline as well.
Yep.
Dan Crenshaw was on Fox News yesterday, slamming the emergency response to the submarine, calling it an epic failure of leadership.
These people who are contacting our office telling us exactly where the submarine is. Right. They're saying, look, the Coast Guard is acting like it's a search area twice the size of Connecticut. That makes no sense. We know exactly where it is. Yeah. The problem is they're not employing an asset that can actually go down there and confirm its location, and then employing this other asset, the Magellan, that can actually pick it up. And by the time they even decide to do it, it's too late, right? That 6K ROV gets there this morning. It gets down there right where they thought it would be. Not in this twice the size of Connecticut area. No, it's right where they thought it would be. And they're finding debris. And I don't have any more information because apparently the civilians that were there to confirm that it was debris from that sub, they're kicked out of the room. So I don't have that information coming to me, and I have real questions about the Coast Guard authorities and what kind of decision-making process was made here. Look, what's going to happen in the future? Should we put these people in charge of future recoveries? Should we? They can't seem to make proper decisions.
And I think it's a fair assessment because, this administration has been criticized from the start, from Afghanistan to the Chinese balloon, of just slowly responding to a lot of this stuff. And it really, a lot of people have said there should have been an all-hands-on-deck event, and it wasn't. Congressman, thank you for your thoughts. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
I'm still taken back a little bit by the fact that this was navigated with essentially a $30 video game controller.
Are you, though? I mean,
yeah, I mean,
that's technology now, though, right?
Really?
Yeah,
it is.
That's what they said. Was they don't think it was a control. Are they alleging that there was a controller problem?
No, I'm not saying that was
dude, the batteries went dead and we forgot new batteries. Like my teenage boys.
I'm just thinking about getting into something this small, and I see on the waiver possibility of death 3 times on the first page. I got to fork over $250,000, and potentially my fate is in the hands of somebody with a joystick. I think I'm out.
I mean, yeah, but
that's just me. I'm scared. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't jump off this desk here.
I get it, but the people that were on this submersive were obviously thrill seekers. They knew the risks of it. You know what I mean? Like you can't not know the risks doing this.
Sure.
They didn't spend all this money just it's like, hey, this might. They wanted to wanted to do this.
I just
even knowing the risks.
I'm just so there's so many people that are wired completely different than me. It's like the same people that are willing to try to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Like, you really want to climb 29,000 plus feet?
Yep.
And get frostbite and hypothermia? No, I'm out.
Nick, what are your opinions on punching down? You always say that when you're on top, you never punch down.
Yeah, you try not to.
Right?
Try not to acknowledge those beneath you, because then that gives them the attention they're seeking.
Exactly. Well, Donald Trump gave a kind of a bizarre video yesterday where he went after Asa Hutchinson, as he called Ada, and Chris Christie and Chris Sununu. And I'm just wondering why Chris Sununu is not even running.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering why he decided that he was going to release this 1-minute video.
Okay.
Would love to get your take on this. Here's Trump from yesterday.
Many say don't punch down when talking about people like Chris Sununu or Sloppy Chris Christie or Ada Hutchinson. I call him Ada, not Asa, because of certain reasons. Or others. But sometimes it's necessary to talk badly about those that for no reason other than politics speak badly about you. Otherwise, the people that love you don't know whether or not they're for real. Are they saying the truth? They're not. So sometimes you have to punch down and you have to say what's happening. Otherwise, they won't understand. It's not fair to them. You have to put them in proper perspective, these bad people. You have to put them in their place. People like this are very destructive, and you have to tell the voters what it's all about. Otherwise, why should they be able to understand it? Thank you very much.
I wouldn't waste my time on Sununu or Hutchinson. I have no problem with him throwing a jab from time to time at Christie, because much like RFK, all I feel like I ever get from RFK Jr. is anti-vax and the conspiracy stuff and his family and assassinations. With Christie, all I feel like I get is Trump content. Christie can't stop talking about Trump. So I'm not going to crush Trump for punching down at a guy that's getting 4%, because Christie, he's the guy who's came out and said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, if there's anybody that can go jab for jab and gas bag with the best of them against Donald Trump, it's me, the former governor of New Jersey. Well, now the big guy just took a swipe at you.
So punching down, you guys think is okay?
Every now and then, I've had, believe it or not a ton of hate in 8 months doing this show on social media, almost unanimous approval. But every now and then I get a guy that has got something snippy to say.
Sure.
And 9 out of 10 times I let it go.
Yeah.
But every now and then it is fun to play whack-a-mole.
I will say this.
Please stop on Twitter. Sorry.
Every now and then.
I will say this. I understand that this is POTUS 2024 and this is Trump and it's entertaining and we kind of giggle, but this past week with Vivek Ramaswamy in town, and I went on Tuesday night to the town hall at the Union League, and it was refreshing and just nice to have a candidate. And obviously, he's 37 years young. Worth more than $500 million and started a business and that sort of thing. But it was refreshing to hear somebody talk about problems and solutions and hope and policy. And you know what? Very rarely did he bring up, Republicans need to do this or that. He really focused on problems and solutions. And it was just nice. It was refreshing.
He went to Miami for Trump's arraignment, remember?
Yep.
And said that I want everybody to, if you win, come January 2025. But other than that, you're right. He really does stay out of the drama, and he just focuses on the issues. Yeah. He also has no chance of winning, but from a strategy standpoint,
It's a good strategy.
It's good strategy.
By the way, speaking of sloppy Chris Christie,
I need that as a drop too.
Can we? Have you guys seen the picture of that woman taking a photo of him on some airplane?
Asleep.
He was asleep. Yeah. Daniel, if you can you put that up on YouTube? If you're watching right now on YouTube and you have not seen it, there's the woman. Yes. She's taking. Look at him sleep. Just not a care in the world.
He looks like an attorney that was up all night preparing a brief.
He's laid back. His big gut hanging. Like he just looks not a care in the world. His glasses are half down.
His pouch is vertical.
Oh man, this is not like that picture. They're gonna take that picture and the picture of him sitting on the beach and just put it together. And the sloppy Chris Christie thing is just gonna stick. It's gonna stick.
That screams VP right there, does it not? And I'm not talking vice president. That's vertical pouch.
Oh, come on. Yeah, if you're watching right now on YouTube, you can see the photo.
Now,
that we're
here's where this is how I can't even understand. There's a lot of things to say that says that you can't be comfortable sitting the way he is. I'm one of these guys. I can't wear a tie for a second longer than I have to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's no way I could ever fall asleep with my tie still tied. And he's got the glasses on too.
He does. Yeah, he's all about the.
He looks like Bill Barr 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not for nothing, because somebody's going to say, you're fat shaming.
No, we're not.
This is somebody who was...
Daniel
was zoom in.
Thank you, buddy. Sorry, Don.
This is somebody who, according to people under oath, was throwing loaded water bottles at women in his office when he was governor.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, these kind of pot shots, I don't mind.
No,
because
I don't either.
He was said to be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
And a bully.
Hey, the internet and social media is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get your feelings hurt, you can log off. Okay.
Okay. And little petite women. Yes. Because a woman like me, I would have cracked him right up inside of the head with my kung fu mama leg.
Is Chris Christie married?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happily.
Yeah. Pat, right? Is his wife?
Pat.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. Mary Pat. Yeah.
Mary Pat.
I've
happily married.
I've met her.
Great
She's
wife.
a lovely woman. Yeah.
Okay.
Great wife.
I like Chris Christie. I have
know.
a fondness in my heart for him. I would never vote for him, but I have a fondness in my heart for him.
I don't hate the guy at all. I just look. Here's the deal. You're going to get into the ring with Trump and say you're going to throw your weight around, literally and figuratively. You're fair game. You're fair game.
Daniel,
agreed.
Daniel, can you jump on the mic here for a second? Is it possible for you
to zoom in on the pouch
when Dawn does her big three? Can you put a split screen up of Dawn doing the big three and Chris Christie
asleep during the big
three? I would love to see that visual. Daniel, is that possible, my friend?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to do that in just 1 second.
And no, Chris Christie did not fall asleep from Dawn because
no. That's not what I'm implying. That's not what I'm.
Of course,
I just think it's a funny visual.
The tie.
Do you think he's snoring in that picture?
Oh, he's. I'd be willing to bet he has a CPAP machine.
I was just gonna say,
there's no doubt.
That is the epitome of a CPAP machine right there,
dude. That guy probably sounds like a steam train.
The noises that come out of him. Oh God, I'm so juvenile.
You think he has gas problems?
Oh, too? Definitely, dude. Definitely.
Is he more of a burper or farter?
He's probably more of a burper.
Okay, I see. I'm the opposite.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Come on.
My one buddy's he's a belching maniac. I mean, it sounds like his insides
in
are
his
just
sleep.
No, when he's awake.
Oh.
I mean, he takes a sip of a lemonade, and it's just he'll let out a burp like his insides are rotten. They sound like an empty metal drum.
It's gross.
Yeah.
All right, one more, and then we'll get to Dawn's big three and Chris Christie's photo. Yesterday, with the is he the Prime Minister of India? Is he the Prime Minister?
I think so.
President?
Yeah. Where Joe was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were taking questions yesterday. Somebody asked about the Chinese spy balloon, and he said it's an incident that caused some confusion, and he doesn't think it had any real consequences. This is cut 7.
I think I believe that, and I've said this for some time, that the hysteria about the relationship with China is collapsing and moving, et cetera, we had an incident that caused some confusion, you might say. but Secretary Blinken had a great trip to China. I expect to be meeting with President Xi sometime in the future, in the near term, and I don't think it's had any real consequence.
There we go. So everybody sleep easy at night.
Right. I allowed China to fly a balloon across all of our nuclear energy spots. Then I sent Anthony over to repair the relationship. And as soon as Anthony got back, I called President or Chairman Xi a dictator. And now we're back to square one again. There's your recap. Nice work, Joe.
Joe Quake on YouTube asks, Christie isn't flying first class. Looks like coach. That's definitely not coach. It's definitely first class. He was sleeping in, right?
Well, who's taking the picture? Is she in first class too?
It looks like it. I mean, look at those seats.
I fly Frontier. I don't know what first class looks like.
I fly with a steerage, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think it's first class.
Yeah, it's 100% first class.
All right.
Laying back with all that room in front of him. Come on, of course that's first class.
Is that it?
I think so. Are we gonna do the?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the? Daniel, are we gonna do?
We'll do the split screen.
The split screen.
While
here?
he gets the split screen, I'll let me tease what's still ahead on today's program.
Yeah.
Amazon is running a scam.
Yeah.
CNN could be up for sale, and the old boss just might buy it.
What?
Yeah, that's a crazy story. And also, a meteorologist resigns, citing PTSD from threats over climate change. That story is on the way. And also, speaking of Chris Christie taking a nap, maybe Chris Christie believes in science and studies that say, hey, a short daytime nap is great for the aging, healthy brain. Here we go. Me and Chris Christie taking snoozes together. But right now, let's get to Dawn Stenzelin's Big Three at 8:37.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal and Company.
Big 3 at 8 this morning, sponsored by Hint Water. So number 1 is Philadelphia police.
We've gone split screen, Dawn.
Would you stop?
But just go ahead. You keep going.
Sorry.
Wait, which way is he? Which way is he? This way?
Yeah.
He's on the right.
Move him over. Move this guy over.
We got Dawn to the left and Christy to the right.
Here,
one
since he threw
person's
water
moving.
bottles at women, I'll just throw a water bottle.
One person's asleep and one's doing the news.
Okay. Please. It's a sin.
Sorry. Go on, Dawn.
Well, the first story is, these are some serious stories. As Philadelphia police search for the killer of a 12-year-old in Philadelphia, shot and killed by stray bullets that were intended for other adult men. This is a 12-year-old kid, a 12-year-old boy, shot on his 12th birthday and killed in Philadelphia. Unbelievable as Philadelphia police search in that situation for the shooters. We also have newly released disturbing video. This is unbelievable stuff. A disturbing video of a group of kids and teens just brutally attacking and beating a 15-year-old boy in the suburbs for his shoes. I now know what kind of shoes they are, so here's the update. So police looking for 5 people who attacked this teen on a basketball court. This is Delco in Haverford Township. Investigators say that there were bystanders, multiple bystanders, recording video of the attack. A neighbor did call 911 and said these out-of-control teen groups are really wreaking havoc in the community. But the video, as you watch it, 16 boys attacking this 15-year-old. Nobody in the news that I see, nobody is reporting that there's a racial aspect to this. The victim is a white boy, and the attackers, you can clearly see the video, are not white kids attacking this kid. No racial aspect being reported at all.
Well, the narrative isn't suitable.
Mm-hmm.
So
imagine if the opposite were true.
Oh, yeah.
This would be making national news.
Right.
So the victim had gone there to play basketball. It's a lit court. Happened this week. He was wearing these Yeezy slides, these shoes that are slides. They're about $300 shoes. And you can hear on the video the victim they take him to the ground and they're just punching and kicking. And he's like, yo, bro, just take the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Just take the shoes. And they continue to attack him even after they've got his shoes.
I think, and I haven't been in the sneaker game for a long time since my college days, but I think the Yeezys are Kanye West brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So $300. So you see the attackers, the victim finally gets up and runs away in his, stocking feet. A neighbor calls 911. The victim's mom is reportedly, she's too upset to even talk on camera.
Wow.
Very, just saying that this is ridiculous. These teens are out of control. Your kid can't even go to play basketball. Somebody on the news brought up the midnight deadline. This happened just after sunset, so it was like 8, 9-ish. It had nothing. It was not midnight because there are curfews in Delco and so on and so forth. Anyway, I just wanted to update you that those were the shoes, the Yeezys. Okay. So they arrested one kid that had the shoes, and now they're looking for 5 others. Total of 6 attackers.
And how many kids? 6?
6 in total.
Okay.
Were the attackers. If you look at it, it's like crazy video.
This is why you should have bought Reeboks.
Stop.
Can you tell me when you're done with the serious story so we can have a little fun with the split screen?
I know. I should have told you to put up the video. You got to look at the video of these kids just, the charges will be serious, like aggravated assault and other charges.
Yeah, as it should be.
Should we take it to the Jersey Shore? We've talked a lot about new rules at the Jersey Shore. This is and since we're talking about New Jersey and former Governor Chris Christie, who's fast asleep, snoring.
Hang on.
Can you put him up now?
Oh.
He's dreaming of throwing water bottles at petite women in the office.
I used to play this when my daughters were in their cribs.
Dawn, if you're watching right now, is throwing a water bottle at him. Okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
So this is called the Animal House rule. Like John Belushi, Animal House.
Yes.
This is down the Jersey Shore, one shore town trying to impose the Animal House rule because these people who rent out their places, Airbnbs in particular, this is Brigantine of all places, Brigantine, New Jersey, although there are other shore points trying to deal with the Airbnb party house issue. So they're trying to balance vacationers who come to party with residents who have to get up for work the next day. And people are being, because of these rentals and kids being able to rent these homes, they're now saying we've got to have this Animal House rule. So they want new rules where they want to make sure you have ID and these are not party houses.
I feel very zen-like right now.
Sorry, Dawn. I know you're giving us very important information, but we just can't stop looking at the split screen.
I'm focused on the music.
He's very sleepy. He's sloppy.
So, come on.
Who's a good boy?
Is he drooling a little?
Somebody on the chat wants to know if he paid for 2 seats.
Oh, and if he didn't, he's going to go on TikTok and cry about it.
The person who took the picture has the seat next to him. They got out. They're standing in the aisle. They're like, nope, he's not leaning on me.
Keith Martin says, I feel bad for the guy behind him.
I know.
Right?
He is just not a care in the world.
Nope.
Let's talk about number 3 in the big 3. We have the big bonus for student teachers. So amid the rising number of teachers leaving the field in Pennsylvania, there's a new measure that would give student teachers a stipend while they're in the classroom getting their degree for their degree to get passed. And this has passed the State House of Representatives in Pennsylvania yesterday. Since he's sleeping, I should just whisper. But this seeks to remove barriers for prospective teachers as their work in the classroom currently goes unpaid as they finish their education. It's like an unpaid internship, basically. So now they would get a $10,000 minimum grant.
Wow.
That they would get as a little bit of a bonus. For teachers, we have a huge teacher shortage happening.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That's number 3.
All right.
You have a sponsor.
And we have a sponsor. Sponsored by Hint Water. Not a water that you'd want to throw at you know who.
Are you drinking Hint Water, Dawn? Is that
I was, actually. I love Hint Water. It's delicious. It's fruit-infused water, 0 sweeteners, 0 calories, so it's healthy. Hint's 25 flavors, including blackberry, coconut, and this is my favorite, blueberry lemon, in stores or at hintwater.com. Thank you, Hint Water, for being our Big 3 sponsor.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. Very soothing right now.
Sorry.
I might deliver the rest of my takes today in this tone. And I got to say, I got to take a shot at somebody right now. We talk about Chris Christie and the way he looks and vertical pouch and the whole bit. I got Fox on in here, and I got to rip Clay Travis. Like, dude, you're a millionaire. You're on Fox right now, sitting across from Ainsley Earnhardt, and you look like a schifoso.
I love the schifoso.
The beard is half gray. the clothes don't look like they fit. For God's sakes, dude, you sold your company to Fox for millions of dollars. It looks like he should be doing a radio show in Bismarck.
Is he dressed like you? Does he have flip-flops on?
No, I'm casual today, as always.
He has a jacket on.
What's that shirt is he wearing? Just awful. Some of these people that make a lot, I don't know, I guess that's how you keep your money. You don't blow it on, clothes or whatever, but good God.
His shirt looks like it has...
He looks like an unmade bed.
It looks like fishing bobbers.
Yeah, it looks like his hair, he just got out of the shower. I don't know what he's trying to go for there. That's a bad look.
By the way, if you're watching right now on YouTube, please hit the like button.
Yeah.
Shockingly, there's a ton of you watching.
I know.
It's almost like we did that on purpose. Hit the like button. We're at 130 right now. I'd like to get up to 150 likes by 850.
All right. Coming up next, short daytime naps may keep the brain healthy, and also science tells us that attractive women are more likely than not to be right-wingers. Trust the science. We're back after this.
Hey, it's quarterback Jalen Hurts and Window Nation's Harley. You know what really hurts?
What's that, Jalen?
Aside from getting sacked by a 300-pound lineman, it's paying too much for new windows. That's why you should call my team, Window Nation.
Get 2 free windows for every 2 windows you buy, plus no payments until 2025. That could save you thousands of dollars.
You know what else hurts? Running out of time when you could have scored. So call my friends at Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit online at windownation.com.
You'll make the perfect call for your home.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Your new kitchen appliances look stunning.
Thanks. We had a blast shopping for them at National Appliance Warehouse. There's over 100 brands in their huge showroom. The best part was knowing everything was at the best price.
You must have done a ton of research.
Oh, we didn't need to. They use a cutting-edge technology called Price Assure. It searches prices online and updates electronic Price Assure tags in real time to make sure theirs is the lowest.
Lower than the big box stores.
Especially them, with much better service, too. And they do it all. Delivery, installation, everything.
National Appliance Warehouse in Wilmington.
Yes, they may not be the closest, but they'll make your wallet the happiest.
Summer is heating up, and so are the savings at National Appliance Warehouse, where the 4th of July mega sale starts now. Hurry in to save an incredible 42% on select GE appliances. National Appliance Warehouse has an unmatched collection of GE, Cafe, GE Profile, and Monogram appliances. Innovative and inspiring, you'll love GE appliances. Preview the savings at nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their easily accessible showroom on 202 in tax-free Wilmington.
You're invited to a private showing of the most important movie you'll see in retirement. The Baby Boomer Dilemma is a groundbreaking documentary from award-winning director Doug Orchard. Throughout the film, Nobel Prize winners, PhDs, and esteemed economists expose the cracks in the financial industry that have 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, and other retirement plans on the brink of collapse. After the movie, you'll receive an education that's unlike any other. Learn how to apply the solutions presented by these experts, which align with and validate our proprietary crash-proof retirement system, proven by over 5,000 consumers. Register for this complimentary screening at Springfield Country Club on June 28th, and let Crash-Proof Retirement provide you the crucial information you need to avoid the baby boomer dilemma that's on the horizon. Registration is required. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Devlin, frequent guest on Dawn, Dom, and Rich. I'm inviting you to the March for Life, Saturday, June 24th at 9 a.m. We'll gather at the Cathedral Basilica there in Logan Circle, and we're also having the largest baby shower in Philadelphia. Bring your new items for babies and young moms, and we'll see you Saturday, June 24th, 9 a.m. at the Cathedral for the March for Life and Philadelphia's largest baby shower. For further info, prolifeunion.org.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
Life's the same. I'm moving in stereo. Life's the same.
51. Welcome back in, Kayal and Company, as we continue live here on this Friday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. Big final hour coming up. Morning Mystery Movie Clip at 9:20. What's on the cut sheet part due at 9:40. Find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show, as well as who won Twitter today. A lot of good stories coming up, including 2 stories centered around science as we wrap up the 8 o'clock hour right now. So, according to a study, short daytime naps may keep your brain healthy as it ages, the study says. Taking a short nap during the day may help to prevent and protect the brain's health as it ages, researchers have suggested after finding that the practice appears to be associated with a larger brain volume. So for all of you that enjoy that brief midday nap, maybe you only get it on a weekend from time to time, or a day where you're working remotely from home, and you can't take advantage of all the medical benefits it provides you 5 days a week like I do for 75 minutes a shot. You squeeze one in from time to time, and it's going to help you. While previous research has suggested that long naps could be an early symptom of Alzheimer's disease, I don't know. Maybe I'm on my way to Alzheimer's. That'd be a hell of a way to go. But other work has revealed that a brief doze can improve people's ability to learn. Now researchers say they have found evidence to suggest that napping may help to protect against brain shrinkage. They go on to say, quote, in line with these studies, we found an association between habitual daytime napping, something I'm guilty of, and larger total brain volume. I don't think anybody's ever accused me of that, but I will take it, which could suggest that napping regularly provides some protection against neurodegeneration through compensating for poor sleep. In a study done by Sleep Health, researchers at UCL at the University of the Republic in Uruguay report how they drew on data from a UK biobank study that has collected genetic, lifestyle, and health information from 500,000 people. So this is not a random poll of 1,200 people.
Yeah.
This is 500,000 people.
Science.
Aged 40 to 69.
Yep.
At recruitment. I mean, Maybe Chris Christie.
He's back.
He's still sharp because he grabs the nap.
He's back up.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Sloppy Chris Christie, yes.
He's back up on the YouTube channel, by the way.
Oh, my goodness.
While you're talking about naps.
So moving forward, here's what we should do.
Yeah.
Let's have like 6 different screens. We'll have one of Dawn, Greg, and myself. That'll be the top 3 boxes. And then down below, we'll have 95, Chris Christie, and somebody else.
Wow.
We should, what we should do?
What?
We should have sales sell the 6th box on YouTube. Like a listener each week will have their picture there. How about that? So yeah, the short daytime nap.
Actually, what you just said is it's not a bad idea.
Hey, I've got ideas for days.
Having a we could do it for charity.
Yes.
Dawn, follow me here.
Yes.
We could do it for charity.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. You make a donation to charity. We can do it for the Travis Manion Foundation, which we do our radiothon every March, where we try and raise money for that great cause. You're also right now trying to raise money for the families behind the badge.
Yep, correct.
So what if we took a shot of a donation, somebody who gave a donation, like a big donation.
Yeah, huge.
And they can be in the split screen with us. What do you guys think?
Whoever made that $500 donation anonymously, they should get first crack at it.
Well, I think for this, you might need to do like 1,000.
Oh, look at you.
I'm just saying, this is a big. I mean,
You're right. It's huge.
You're gonna be seen by thousands of people.
You're gonna be one box over from Chris Christie.
Yeah.
By the way, as far as the sleep study that you did, now companies like Nike and Ben & Jerry's are introducing nap rooms because of this recent study.
Oh, we're
nap.
It's got to be the right temperature and the right shade of darkness.
So I think sometimes we should have a box where, like, hey, if somebody near you is napping at your work or on SEPTA, like nap shots.
Yeah, nap shots. It's a new trend.
We're raising a generation of babies. Like, did you get your nap today?
Or I would
Did you get your nap today?
Work smarter, not harder. It's a good mantra to live by. Why kill yourself when you can be just as successful and do it more intelligently?
That's right.
75 minutes a day, baby. Just see me yesterday.
Did you get your nap today?
Pillow impression on my face.
Oh, God.
My whole head was red. A little slobber. I was like Chris Christie.
I mean, that's going to be the new you're going to get when you get hired for a job. Like, this is our nap room.
Right.
Here are your blankies and your binky.
All right. Well, I mean, Elon Musk kind of started it. Remember, he had people with cots at Twitter? Yep. Although they do say in this, and this is where I think the science is wrong, they say up to a 30-minute nap is beneficial. If you go beyond 30, it can be counterproductive. I totally think that's BS. I get 60, 75, sometimes it's 90 minutes. Doesn't work against me. I wake back up, have lunch, crack a Red Bull, boom, round 2 of my day.
On a daily basis?
Monday through Friday, unless I have to schmooze with the suits. Which, by the way, I missed 2 naps this week.
Oh, God.
But, I'm a team player, and I do what I got to do to keep my job.
Every time you say it, it just infuriates me more.
Throws me off. It's a recalibration.
I want to punch you.
A lot of people do.
This nap is going away when the family comes.
Of course
here,
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Of
so
course
you better
it is.
I might
figure that out and go to bed
I
earlier.
might squeeze in 60 during the school year, but you're right. During the summer, there probably won't be any naps.
I got to say, when I first started doing mornings when I was in my 20s, my wife, or who was my girlfriend at the time, worked a regular job. And when I just had that job, I used to just do mornings. I used to come home and nap, too.
Hell yeah.
So.
But for like half an hour.
No, I did the 90 minutes sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I grew up and became an adult.
Right.
Nick still hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. I adopted the nap when I moved to Nashville in 2018 when I was doing mornings down there. So it translated. That's why I knew I'd be finding this spot. Hey, have you done mornings before? Yep. And I've got the nap and the process and the schedule and the routine down. Yeah. It's like a science.
Exiled Kraken on YouTube says, put up the QR code for Nick's bike ride so we can scan and donate.
There we go.
Nice.
Can we put up the link to a QR code? Would be easier.
Yeah.
But Daniel, can you put up the link and put it into the chat so people can donate?
Have you ever scanned a QR code on your TV with your smartphone for for a product or an item?
Not for a product. I've done it to, if I have to link up an app on my Apple TV, I do it that way.
Okay.
Or if you want to Venmo too, I do it for Venmo.
Gotcha. Last thing on the science front, a study and some data shows that attractive women are more likely to be right-wing.
Shocking.
Scientists in Denmark used an AI machine with learning techniques to predict political ideology based on facial characteristics. The results show that attractive women are more likely to be right-wing. Meanwhile, women who showed contempt are more likely left-wing. Quote, for females, though not males, High attractiveness scores were found amongst those the model identified as likely to be conservative. The Nature-owned journal Scientific Reports findings explained. Quote, these results are credible given that previous research using human raters has also highlighted a link between attractiveness and conservatism. The creator from Libs of TikTok tweeted the following. The science is settled. Attractive people are the happiest. Happy faces were likely to be representatives of right-wing parties, found the study. A liberal woman is never happy. Explains my mother-in-law. There you go. So, right-wingers, female, hot. Science. It's not disputable.
By the way, that was a Time magazine article years ago.
Was it?
And I think it was Ed Rendell who said ugly women don't support Donald Trump. I think it was Rendell.
I will say this, though. I know social media is only a small sample size. The amount of females on social media that are Trump supporters, a lot of them are really hot. I'm just going to say that, and I'll leave it at that. Hot women like Trump, politically. You know, if you want to get with Trump, you know, it's going to cost $130,000, but what are you going to do? All right, coming up next, 9 o'clock hour is on the way. Dawn's Big 3 at 9, and also Pennsylvania House passing a minimum wage bill to $15 an hour, but it's not going to happen for a few more years. We'll give you those details on the other side. But right now, you can join me in supporting the Bend to the Shore Bike Tour. It's coming up exactly 1 month from today. Today's June 23rd. Sunday, July 23rd. You have tons of options here. You can go for the full shot, 65 miles from Philly to Atlantic City, like I am. Or you can ride 30 miles from Hamilton. Family-friendly celebration when you get to the finish line at the Showboat Hotel after the ride. You can even register to ride with me in Team 1210. I'll be the captain of Team 1210, and we all want you to be a part of it, whether you're riding or you're just donating to support a good cause. Visit ben2shore.org. When you sign up, use the code NICK1210. They're going to give you $25 off your registration fee. That's Ben, B-E-N, the number 2, Shore, S-H-O-R-E.org, promo code NICK1210. Let's show everyone how the WPHT and Odyssey family supports law enforcement. Bend to Shore is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation, which provides financial relief for the families of the fallen and injured first responders and supports the Police and Youth Alliance, which fosters a positive relationship between police and youth, something I think we certainly need to highlight in this day and age of defunding the police and politics and the media and the demonizing of police. This will work against that. So check it out, bendtoshore.org. Hope to see you. Hope you donate. Hope to ride with you.
Don't miss an NL East weekend matchup when the Phillies welcome the Nationals to South Philly on Friday, June 30th at 6:05, Saturday, July 1st at 4:05, and Sunday, July 2nd at 1:35. Visit Phillies.com to order tickets now. Head to CBP on Saturday, July 15th at 1:05 for the first game of a day-night doubleheader when the Phils take on the Padres, and all fans receive a Toyota Bryce Harper 2022 NL Champs replica ring. Order tickets at Phillies.com.
Attention real estate investors, PK Capital Funding, in business for over 30 years, provides creative funding for fix and flips up to 100%, 1 to 4 family properties, Bar National Construction, and more. Call today, 267-266-0797.
Attention business owners, PK Capital Funding provides business loans even with a 500 credit score for manufacturing, doctor's offices, restaurants, auto repair, builders, and more. Call today, 267-266-0797, 267-266-0797.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Many of you know I am a history buff. Celebrating our independence from taxation is at our nation's core. Well, right now, United Tire and Service is doing just that. You will pay no tax Relax and save big instantly when you buy any Ford tires. United Tire knows everything and can take great care of you. Plus, they've got all the rebates and the best pricing anywhere for all your tire and service needs. Visit UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, July 22nd at Wildwood Catholic High School.
I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I'll tell you, I'm glad I came. Best ever.
He reinvented himself. It was really good, man.
The music, the singing, everything. You laugh, you tear it up.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, July 22nd at Wildwood Catholic High School, 15th and Central Avenue, North Wildwood. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Right now, someone around you is at risk of an overdose. It might not be today, but when it happens, you can be ready to save their life. Naloxone is a medication that reverses opioid overdose. Available without a prescription at your local pharmacy. It's simple to use, easy to carry, and safe to administer. And it works in minutes. Learn more about naloxone and naloxone training at pa.gov/opioids. Because it might be today that you save a life.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Kayal and Company rolling on hour number 4 on this Friday morning. Great to have all of you, and hopefully your day off to a good start. A lot of good stuff this morning from the revelations we found out yesterday with Joe and Hunter Biden. Also, the Titanic and the Titan submersible officially no longer recoverable. Wall Street Journal breaking some news yesterday that the U.S. Navy was very likely aware of this implosion as of Sunday. We got into that in the first hour, as well as whether or not the Dems are slow-walking Joe Biden towards an exit in 2024. Some RFK stuff along the way as well. And we've got a lot coming up here in the final hour. Morning Mystery Movie Clip at 9:20. What's on the Cut Sheet Part Due at 9:40. But I thought this is a pretty interesting story about the Pennsylvania House passing the minimum wage raising bill here in Pennsylvania. $15 an hour minimum wage by 2026. The bill passed 103 to 100, with all but one Democrat voting for it and 2 Republicans joining them. Now, I did not know this, but Pennsylvania's minimum wage has been stuck at the federal minimum of $7.25 an hour since 2009.
Wow.
So we're talking a 14
Do you listen
years.
to my news? I've reported this. You don't listen to me.
I was like Chris Christie. I must have dozed
I'm
off.
invisible.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like this is my family. Like I'm invisible.
What is happening?
Did you now? Was this on your show or just on news this morning?
In the news,
Okay.
not this morning.
Okay.
Just like I was rude and selfish because I cut the lawn yesterday until 8 o'clock.
Here we go.
Wow.
This is for her.
This is where it all stems from.
This is for her. Her audience of 1 right now, who is.
You triggered me, Nick.
I'm sorry.
When you said this, I'm like, I'm invisible.
Is he competing against us today?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, there's no competition. We're but
No,
yeah,
I
I'm
do.
so selfish.
A little inside radio stuff.
Yeah. I think I recall you bringing
Wait a
the
minute.
story up, but I was unaware of that. It was 720. Think about that. Since 2009.
Wait. Can what? I'm sorry, Nick. I know you're trying to make a serious point, but I
Yeah,
have to.
no, it's all right.
I have to ask Dawn.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
So, because you mowed the lawn last night until 8 o'clock,
That was selfish. That was selfish of me.
Oh man!
Because somebody had to go to bed early because they, were working.
Well, you have to go to bed early every night.
Don't even get me started. I'm a little edged.
Dawn, you are selfish for mowing the lawn at
woman.
sunset.
Oh, man.
Some of us would like to go to sleep, damn it.
So,
I mean, like.
so I'm going to be unselfish now, and I'm going to find the most expensive person to cut the
baby.
lawn.
Not
and go. I was
just gonna say, Don, not for nothing, as they like to say. The kids like to say, but like outsource your lawn.
Yeah, do what Stalker does.
It's a great workout.
Hire a grass
I don't
plant.
mind it, but now I do.
Soccer's got a lawn guy, a pool boy. He's got everything.
Cabana boy.
Cabana boy.
I don't have a pool boy.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, that's a
It's
joke.
a girl.
Oh,
It's a joke. It's a girl.
Well, it used to be a boy, and he transitioned
Cabana
to be a girl. Yeah.
But wasn't it raining last night?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it just looks like it's going to rain for the last 4
No, it
days
was
around
actually
here.
nice.
Yeah, that's a great question. Has it actually rained
I don't
in the
think
last
so.
3 days?
No.
I don't think it has.
I'm getting tired of it.
Yes,
Has it?
It has, but not.
Don't you listen to my news?
Don't you hear my
Don't
T-Mobile
listen.
weather updates?
I know. T-Mobile, NBC 10 forecast.
No,
They don't listen.
start pouring as soon as I get on the tee box tomorrow at the first tee. Yeah.
That's just it. It's this weird, haphazard, scattered rain. And
Yeah.
$7.25 an hour.
Yeah, $7.25 an hour. The measure would gradually increase the minimum wage to $15 by changing from $7.25 to $11 in its first year, then $13 an hour in 2025, and then finally $15 in 2026. And the reason the whole thing that stands out to me is the $7.25 since 2009. I remember when I got my first job in radio, 2006, Little Lehigh Valley AM sports station, and it was minimum wage, which I believe was either $6.50 or $6.25 an hour. And after my first year, I noticed in my pay, and I don't even know why it would bother, but I guess when you get paid, peanut shells, you look at your paycheck, and all of a sudden the year's 2007, and I see my hourly rate went up 25 or 50 cents an hour, and I thought that my boss, for this cheap radio company that I worked for, just gave me a little bit of a bump. So I texted him, and I'm like, "Hey, I saw I've gone from $6.50 to $7 an hour. Thanks for the raise. You didn't even tell me that was coming." And he goes, "Would love to take credit, but the minimum wage got bumped up." So I'm like this little dopey kid, and I'm like, "I got a raise. Yes, college graduate. I make $7 an hour now."
Yeah.
And that was not true. And now, when you go up to $15 an hour, I think in California, is it 16 or 17 bucks an hour? It might be a little bit more than Pennsylvania. I just don't know how anybody could survive. I mean, right now we're at $15 an hour, much less the last 14 years, at $7.25 an hour. What have we been doing in this state? This state is not cheap to live in.
Yeah, but here's my read on this.
Okay.
Nobody's paying that anymore, especially during the pandemic.
Yep.
But let's say they'll pay somebody 10, 12, but they pay them in cash.
Right.
So this is an effort in our Pennsylvania House of Representatives, which is controlled by Democrats. To me, it's a taxation effort. In other words, if somebody's making $10 or $12 an hour and they're being paid under the table, then they go, "Oh, well, it's $15. You got to pay me $15. What they're not realizing is that then the employer goes, "Okay, fine, I can't hire this many people, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
but now it's on the books." And to me, that's what this is more about taxes.
Yeah.
It's too many people paying $10 an hour under the table in cash because that's worth so much more when you're just paid in cash and you never had to pay taxes on it.
Yes, that's a great point. And when you just think about the cost of living today with inflation and everything, even at $15 an hour, I don't know. Now, look, you get out of college, you're still living at home. Maybe you're not paying your loans off yet right away, but still, I mean, you go through a drive-through, right? I mean, you're in a hurry and you're grabbing Wendy's. I mean, a value meal is like $9 now. It used to be $4.
Really?
I mean, it's just everything is so. I guess my takeaway is just, it's nice to see that it goes up for those that were in that predicament of making $12 an hour, whether it was under the table or not. But just the cost of living today, and this is such a big issue, it should really be the number one issue in 2024, how you're going to make the average American that lives paycheck to paycheck be in a better situation. You go to the grocery store. I've said this multiple times on this show. I'm paying 2 grocery tabs, right? I'm spending, and I'm not eating great quality or in a big volume. And every week when I go to Giant, I'm spending $140 a week. And that's not including what my wife and daughters are spending on a weekly basis for 3 in Nashville. And then on top of it, that $140 a week I'm spending, that's the food grocery list for the week. That's not the once or twice a month when I go to the grocery store and I got to get the toilet paper and the paper towels and all the other types of stuff. It might be a deodorant or mouthwash. Then all of a sudden, I'm in the 170, 180 range a week. And this is I for the people out there that are in that predicament, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck because I'm paying for basically two mortgages, which is my own problem. But for those people that are truly stuck paycheck to paycheck, it's like you never get ahead. You just can't get ahead in this economy with Joe Biden and everything that we are dealing with right now. We gave you in the second hour of the show what items have been hit the highest at the grocery store with inflation. I mean, you've got, not that you should be eating a ton of cookies anyway. Now's probably a great time to clean out some of the sugar and the bad stuff that leads to, diabetes and weight gain. But cookies are 14% up on inflation. Mm-hmm. Ice cream, 11%. Beer, 9%. Those were the three items. But, I mean, think about it, too. When you go to, I've always been, when I get pizza, I love the mom and pop spot. I don't eat chain pizza. But the cost on the chain pizza now versus, your small business owner that owns a pizza joint is drastically different. You almost, if you're doing it on a cost analysis standpoint, not, hey, give me some real authentic Italian pizza and not, Pizza Hut or Domino's. Pizza Hut or Domino's, you can get a pizza for $12 or $13 still. That's if you pick it up. You go to like your local mom and pop spot, a pizza place that's called Frank's or whatever. I mean, you walk in, it's $18 or $19 for a large pie. And if you get it delivered, delivery charge plus tax plus tip, you're spending $27 for a pizza.
Yep.
And because they can't buy the items and the cheese, I think it's really the cheese, the cost of dairy is through the roof. They're buying it at a much smaller quantity than the big chains are. So the big chains will pass the savings on to you because they buy it in such a bulk that they get it cheaper. It's just, I'm just blown away by people. And it's like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Well, damn, it's like, going out for a pizza with the family is like, it's a legit expense. So I'm sorry I missed your story on that, Dawn, about $15 an hour.
It's a long-winded way of Nick
it was my mea culpa to Dawn for pulling a Chris Christie. Yes.
Well, I mean, I think that it passed one house. I think for small businesses, ultimately, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Mom and pop places that are forced to pay the higher rate.
No question. No question. And it barely passed 103 to 100. So
and that's in the chamber that's controlled by the Democrats.
Correct.
With the majority. So.
Correct. All right, 855-839-1210. Our morning mystery movie clip coming up in about 2 or 3 minutes. But I did mention we had a meteorologist meltdown in the world of the ongoing stresses that are and is climate change. Our favorite climate change nutbag, Greta Thunberg, she got lambasted.
Thunberg. Tune,
the H is silent.
Yeah,
and it's like tuna, but just tune.
Greta
Thunberg, the tunester, she got roasted for her prediction on social media in 2018 that come 2023, humanity would be wiped out. She predicted on June 21st, 2023, 2 days ago, that a top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. She has since deleted that post.
Yes.
And she is being ridiculed because, as we know, the internet keeps receipts and the internet is forever. And the 5-year anniversary of her prediction was 2 days ago. And the last time I checked, we're still here.
We are.
And humanity is still alive and thriving.
Yeah.
So, Greta, take the L.
Well, I'm curious when you said she tweeted that, right?
That was back in 2018 she tweeted that.
Did that get flagged for misinformation when she tweeted that?
No, I think Jack Dorsey probably relished that.
Got it.
Back when he ran Twitter.
Got it.
So that leads to this. The meteorologist resigning, citing PTSD from threats over climate change coverage. This is remarkable.
Oh, man.
This is right up there with Greta. An Iowa meteorologist, Chris Gloninger, got an email notification last June. It read, "Getting sick and tired of your liberal conspiracy on the weather. What's your address?" Another person asked Gloninger a few days later. Quote, "We conservative Iowans would like to give you an Iowan welcome you will never forget." So apparently this guy, the emails kept coming in relentlessly to his inbox for months and months. And the sender accused the award-winning meteorologist who spoke frequently about the effects of climate change in his meteorologist newscasts of being a conspiracy theorist and a worthless Biden puppet. Another told Gloninger to go east and drown from the ice cap melting.
Wow.
Gloninger, the chief meteorologist at Des Moines news station KCCI, I don't know, sounds like a CBS affiliate, shared some of the messages on social media in July and said he had really been taking a pounding for this and it's taken a toll on him. He said, quote, "I'm trying to put it behind me," Gloninger told the Washington Post, "but at the same point, I think it brings awareness to what journalists face day to day bringing the news. The episode ultimately led the meteorologist to a career-altering decision. Gloninger is departing KCCI and his career in TV news in July. He announced Wednesday citing family health issues and post-traumatic stress disorder
for God's sake.
that he suffered after receiving the threats."
Yeah. Okay.
So he feels, I'm guessing he's probably paid relatively well to be a TV meteorologist. And a couple of emails, and he's going to check out.
Look, I never defend people threatening other people.
No, of course not.
I think it's horrendous. However, like, if you're in the public eye, there's not a chance in hell, and you give some sort of opinion or give some sort of whatever, there's not a chance in hell you have not been stalked, threatened, whatever.
Yes.
It's just the
nature of business.
Yeah, there's kooks among us. You know, everybody has trolls. Everybody has. If you don't like it, stay off social media.
We all have our trolls here.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what to say, except our trolls go after our sponsors. They try and affect our livelihood rather than our well-being.
Right.
But that's the nature of this business. And if you don't like it, then get out of it. I don't know what else to say.
Here's an idea. If you're a meteorologist, just give us the weather. Keep your thoughts on climate change out of it. That's a political slant. Just tell me 92 degrees today, 50% chance of a scattered storm. Don't tell me why it's going to storm or what's causing it. Just give me the basics. Again, leave your slant.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Just the facts. As Joe Friday once said, just the facts, ma'am. 9:21 Friday morning. It's time for the morning.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize this was still playing.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
I did not realize I was still playing. I apologize. This is apparently a 12-hour loop of and he put it back up on the YouTube page. Oh, okay. Chris Christie sleeping. That needs to be, if we can find a way to make that like a permanent thing, at least for the rest of the show for the last 40 minutes or so. Okay. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, the Morning Mystery Movie
Morning
clip.
Mystery Movie clip.
Let's do that right now.
And now, the Morning Mystery Movie clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
What's up, money? You got a problem? What you looking at my ass for? Nah, yo, hold my poodle. Hold my poodle. Hey, yo, what's up? Y'all got a problem? Y'all want some of this? You want some of this, punk? What? What, boy, what? I take the both of you. Marcus, get out of here. I got this for you. Kiss my Cut it out. What? He looking at me like I'm some kind of girl, man. You are a girl. And you better start acting like one or you're gonna be an unemployed girl.
Damn. Sure like to cut that cake.
Hey, yo, hold it. Hey, yo, you trying to look at my lumps? I'll pull off my G-string and handle mine.
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
Final chance at a 4-pack of tickets to watch the 4th of July fireworks aboard the Battleship New Jersey in Camden, New Jersey. For more information and tickets, visit battleshipnewjersey.org or be caller 12 right now at 855-839-1210 with the correct answer to that mystery movie clip, and you got yourself the 4th of July fireworks tickets aboard the Battleship New Jersey. We're back after this with our winner live here on a Friday morning.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance. Progressive Insurance.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Summer is the perfect time to call Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy. Does your child or grandchild need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make that call to Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope founder Kathy Ganna, pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed at New Hope Academy. There's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call now for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy now, 800-300-0003.
You can shed that fat and be slimmer for this summer. No more wearing cover-ups or t-shirts in the pool. NJ Diet will help you the natural way. There are no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Locations throughout the East Coast or available from home with live online video consultations. 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com, njdiet.com.
Being a baseball play-by-play broadcaster demands a blend of learned mechanics, intense preparation, and a calm sense of entertainment. How hard is it to do this job? Let's talk to the ones who do it. This is Matt Spiegel. My new podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, will bring those conversations to you as the best working and former broadcasters tell you why and how they do it. New episodes come every Thursday all summer long. Follow The PBP, Voices of Baseball, on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Hey, this is John Ritchie. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and you're not using a PDQ POS system, it's time to make the switch. PDQ POS will not only save you time, effort, and money, but it's the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available. That's why PDQ POS has been the top-rated restaurant management system for over 35 years. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, PDQ can help your business succeed. Visit pdqpos.com.
Hey, you know life throws you curveballs. Stress, anxiety, and unhappiness. I'm Dave Raymond, keynote speaker, and yes, the original Philly fanatic. And I want to talk to you. I've been sharing my message around the world. It's a message about how fun and happiness can make the world a better place and can save your life. Contact me now at daveraymondspeaks.com. I'd love to speak for your team at your next company outing, conference, or meeting. See you soon at daveraymondspeaks.com.
World-renowned PhD economist Moshe Milevsky says that your stocks, bonds, and mutual funds are nothing more than one big lump sum of risk and cannot guarantee the income streams you need to maintain your lifestyle in retirement. In the groundbreaking film, The Baby Boomer Dilemma, this award-winning expert reveals the key ingredient that your 401k and retirement plans are missing, no matter how large your nest egg is.
One of the important things for people to understand is how to measure wealth at retirement. They measure wealth at retirement by the size of the account. But the income that we can get from that sum of money is shrinking. You have to convert wealth into income at retirement.
Reserve your seat for the next private screening of The Baby Boomer Dilemma at Springfield Country Club on June 28th and discover how the guaranteed income solutions presented by the renowned experts in this shocking film align with the exclusive crash-proof retirement system. Registration is required. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Businesses to watch. Armin Chevrolet's sizzling summer sell-down has arrived. Armin's leasing a new 7-passenger Traverse for only $244 per month. 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. A new Armin Traverse for only $244 per month. Armin Chevrolet, celebrating our 23rd anniversary, selling the full lineup of award-winning Chevrolets. Find new roads to Armin Chevrolet. Visit ArminChevy.com, where dealership meets friendship. MSRP $35,615, tax bank fee of $39.99, down payment due at signing. Price currently household major bank approval on 7/31/23.
I love my home, and especially I love it since all the great work the Chapman family team has done. Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, they've just made our home more energy efficient and more beautiful. Every time they come, I just get so excited. And, you know, there are so many amazing options if you need to customize anything in your home. So if you want to really bring the outside in with a spectacular open view, just ask about the Nana wall product. Gorgeous wall of glass doors and windows. It transforms your home. Chapman also offering premium architecture shutters designed to last a lifetime, historically accurate, stunning hardware options, and of course with a lifetime warranty. These are just some of the really unique differences that I talk about with there is a difference with the Chapman family team, and they do it all. Stucco remediation, they're experts in that. Windows, doors, whether they're exterior, interior doors, siding, but whatever you need for your home, I'm telling you, they do meticulous work, outstanding service, high quality products installed by high quality people, as I always say, and they're going to respect your family budget. That's important too. Everything is in writing. You sign off on it. And if you want, let's say you want to touch up afterwards. So let's say they're doing some window work, interior doors, and you want some touch up painting. That's the kind of customization that you can ask for and then sign up for. I love all of those different options. Just here's the thing. Just call or text them, 610-431-8898, 610-431-8898. They're local. Two brothers, Mike and Mark, run this business for nearly 30 years out of Chester County. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. You can take a virtual tour on their website. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company rolling on Friday. What's on the cut sheet part due in about 7 minutes. What's on tap for the Dawn Show? Who won Twitter today? All still on the way. Two other stories too. Amazon being called out for a big scam. And also CNN with a rare victory. And also a potential buyer. We'll hit on those before we get out of here this morning. Tom is in Drexel Hill, and I believe he is our Morning Mystery Movie Clip winner of the day. Tom, what clip did we play for you about 7 minutes ago, sir?
It's called White Chicks.
That's correct. White Chicks. Yes. Tom, congratulations. You got the 4-pack of tickets for the 4th of July.
Awesome. Thanks. I love your show.
Thank you, Tom. There he is, Tom in Drexel Hill. And be careful when you say white chicks, because you got to be inclusive these days.
I was just going to say that.
Right?
That is a politically incorrect movie these days.
It is.
Yeah.
Very incorrect. Yeah. You know, and as a white person, I'm offended by that. What is white? What do you mean by white chicks?
Yeah.
Are white chicks different than other chicks? I thought all chicks were created equal, even the ones that were born men. But, you know, science. So how about this? I think a lot of us use Amazon, right? So you do some shopping, you get the stuff delivered on your porch. This day and age, you don't got to worry about going out to the store, going to a mall. You just go on your device of choice, fire up your Amazon account. Maybe you have Amazon Prime, and boom, next thing you know, razor blades on your porch. What a concept. You don't even need to go to CVS to get the razor blades anymore. But Amazon was sued on Wednesday by the Federal Trade Commission for allegedly engaging in a years-long effort to enroll customers without their consent into Amazon Prime.
Wow.
And making it difficult for them to cancel their membership, which I've always had this problem.
Yes.
Whether, no matter what type of subscription you sign up for, it is the damnedest thing in the world to find the cancel subscription link here.
And a lot of times they don't make it easy.
No.
You have to actually physically call the place and say, I want to cancel this subscription, which, there's no live bodies anywhere anymore. So,
and I remember when I was in law school for 93 total days, in our contract law class, we talked about these global companies now, and basically the digital contract that you sign when you join up for these memberships and how difficult it is, and that you got to go read through all the fine print, and the way these companies are very weaselish. But in a complaint, weaselish, that's correct. In a complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington, the agency, the FTC, has accused Amazon of using deceptive designs known as dark patterns to deceive consumers into enrolling in Prime, which provides subscribers with perks such as faster shipping for an additional fee of $139 annually or $14.99 a month. Now, truth be told, I've never personally ordered anything off Amazon. My wife has the account. I get my alkaline water and my razor blades from Amazon. But I remember telling her in the fall 2 years ago, hey, the NFL Thursday night games are now going to be on Amazon Prime. It's the only way you can watch them.
Yeah.
So I was like, you need to sign up for the Amazon Prime upgrade so I can watch this game. But apparently you're being duped into this as a consumer just for like using Amazon for shopping purposes.
Yeah.
You're being upgraded without knowing that you're upgraded.
You know you're upgraded.
No, Dawn.
I think a lot of these people don't know it.
You know you're upgraded.
Well, what's the difference in Prime versus non-Prime from a cost standpoint?
It's you.
Is it
you
doubled?
Get free delivery. You get all kinds of perks. It's worth it.
Okay.
And I get the Walmart one too. It's worth it. You can get anything online. It's all free, and it's like in a day. Some of it's same day.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing.
So the complaint says that Amazon tricked and trapped people into recurring subscriptions without their consent, not only frustrating users, but also costing them significant money. That's from the FTC chair, Lena Khan, who said in a prepared statement, these manipulative tactics harm consumers and law-abiding businesses alike. They counter. Amazon says the FTC's claims are false on the facts and the law. Amazon spokesperson Heather Lehman said in a statement, the truth is that customers love Prime, and by design, we make it clear and simple for customers to both sign up or cancel their Prime membership.
They're going to win on this because the truth is if you're what
you're saying Amazon.
Amazon's going to win on this, in my humble opinion. I mean, they'll negotiate something. But everybody does this. All these services nowadays, what they say is, when you sign up, they say they're going to do an auto sign up.
Yeah.
To redo it the next year, and so that what they're saying is that we make it convenient so that your thing isn't canceled. What are you laughing about? What's he
No, I just looked down at the YouTube stream.
Is Chris Christie still on?
In the left box, in the left corner, there's a picture of Chris Christie sleeping.
Would
So
you
if you're
guys
watching,
stop, Chris Christie?
if you're watching right now,
What
on
we should
YouTube.
put is a news story. Daniel put in I-95 because this morning maybe they'll get done. Their news conference begins in less than an hour.
Or you could follow the show sheet that I send out the night before. Instead of putting Chris Christie, since we're talking about Amazon, maybe put a little snippet of the Amazon story up on the screen, like we're like a real TV show.
Well,
that's too much.
No. It's not. It's not. Hang on. Let me defend my man here for a second. Like we're doing. I asked him to do this, and he's doing it.
Yes.
So yes, we will get there. Everybody just
my thing with the Amazon is it's not so much. So if you don't know you're being charged more, either you need to.
Do.
Well, then are they claiming they don't read the fine? Because if you don't read the fine print, that's on you.
If you're charged $139, you have Prime. Boom.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Like I don't get what they don't know.
I think, I mean, is
know?
there a difference between Prime and like an entry level?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all the perks.
Okay. So then you got to be aware.
For the extra $39, just go for the perks.
But the cancellation to me is, see, this is one of these things where, for me, like when I golf, I used to have a GPS, like a physical GPS that would give me the yardage, and and you carry it with you. I lost it, like it fell out of the cart, whatever. So I would download the free GPS apps on my phone, and they're free for like 7 days. And then they come with a subscription that says, hey, free for the first 7 days. After that, we will charge you to your Apple iTunes charge card or whatever, $69.99 for the year.
Be careful. Your daughter's pictures just got up on the...
Oops.
Oh, well, they're beautiful, aren't they? Look at those kids.
Yeah, but no, they are. I just don't want you to...
Yes,
if you don't want them to...
Right. Bunch of left-wingers.
Be on camera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I cancel that within 5 or 6 days so I don't automatically get hit with the... renewal subscription fee. And they make, and this is just one specific example, they make it easy. And I can click on it, unsubscribe, and then I'm not billed. But I do think a lot of these ones, and so I guess my point is not so much about the price or not knowing of the price, but you need to really make it easy for people to get out of these things when they want to get out. Like, I shouldn't have to spend a half hour searching your website high and dry.
They all do this. In my experience, they all do it. And so what I do is and when my husband's like, oh, I can't, blah, blah, blah. Just what I do is I look up their address, and you can send it and ask for a receipt from U.S. Mail, so you can send it so that you can have proof that you sent it. All you have to do is cancel this subscription as of this date and put the words, you no longer have authorization to charge my credit card.
So you go old school, you'll send a letter in the mail through the post office.
And I prove that I sent it. And that way, boom, you're done, one and done. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to send an email, and then they go, oh, we didn't get the email. Just go old school, you know what I mean? And just have your system down. Boom. When you put that in writing and they get it, and especially when you say you are no longer authorized to charge my credit card, then that's like they know you're not messing around.
I don't think the youths today know how to find the post office. I used to love the post office, by the way.
I know. Go with your grandma or
Great,
something.
yeah. Go in for a book of stamps.
Weirdo.
What a time.
Oh, that's great.
By the way, everybody's going to say, oh, they're tracking you, but I subscribe to everything through Apple, through my iPhone, and then when you go to your main screen there, a list of your subscriptions comes up, and there's just a little button that says cancel subscription, so it's easier to do it that way.
You've streamlined it.
I have.
Okay.
So Apple has all my personal information anyway, except for the fact that I'm now using DuckDuckGo, so all my personal information won't be shared.
That's correct. We're getting more pictures. Your boy Chris Eppolito.
Yeah.
So apparently Chris is a regular stratosphere napper, and being photographed is normal. 7 years ago, LOL, hashtag Kayal and Co. He just sent us another picture. Chris Christie asleep in his chair. He's drinking what looks like to be a berry smoothie, and he's got Big Bose headphones on that are connected to, I think, his phone in his shirt pocket.
Oh, boy.
Did you see that?
I have not. No.
I'm going to retweet it.
Hysterical.
Maybe Valdez, once you see me retweet it, you can splice that into YouTube.
So on one side it'll be Chris Christie.
Let's go split screen Christie. He's a split screen sloppy
Chris Christie.
Exactly.
That's not right.
He's a sloppy sleeper.
Wow. He is a sloppy. Wow. I mean, look, are any of us attractive sleepers?
No. You got to see me when I get up from my nap. I need to go to hair and makeup after my nap.
But the thing about him is, that Christie just is perspiring.
Yeah. He's got to be a sweaty guy, right?
Right? And
Poor
so that
guy.
chair,
you
now you
went
gotta sit.
there.
That's why I carry my Lysol, just like. It's like, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Just
right, man.
Sweating like.
Don, you're supposed to be the
bathtub.
mature one on this
I know, I'm
program.
sorry.
I know. Don't you have some grass to cut? All right, 9:43. Let's get to what's on the cut sheet.
What's on the cut sheet?
Part 2. Oh my God! Look at that photo.
Let's see if we can put him in the right and the other one in the left, and we'll keep us in the middle.
I gotta say though, this is I'm gonna defend my man Chris Christie here for a second. The only reason anybody wants to see him sleeping is because he's overweight, right? I mean, if
No,
this
that's
was
not true.
if this was a skinny, svelte guy,
Yeah.
nobody would
It's
care that
still
he was
funny.
sleeping.
Right.
It is still funny.
Okay.
So somebody blasted him saying, "You think you need energy, buddy? You're going to need more than that to go after Trump."
It's funny because the mouth is, in the first one, the mouth is kind of open.
Yep.
There's a little drool.
Chris
That's
Christie
the-
here for CPAP.
Oh, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. I noticed our subscriber count has gone up too. So if you're watching right now, please hit the subscribe button. Trying to get, we said our goal was 4,000 by the 4th of July. So we have like a week and a few days to get it done. So help us get it done at 1210WPHT on YouTube. By the way, What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2, sponsored by Holland Floor Covering. Holland Floor Covering is the region's premier flooring dealer. Family operated for over 50 years, providing exceptional service and professional installation. Visit their 2 showrooms in Wayne and Newtown. No charge samples, no obligation estimates. Learn more at hollandfloor.com. That's Holland, HOLLAND, floor.com. Thank you, Holland Floor, for sponsoring, hollandfloor.com, for sponsoring What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2. We talked, Nick, about climate change and how that meteorologist was triggered and he had to quit his job because of PTSD from people threatening him over climate change. Well, maybe the threat and maybe the thought of impending doom comes from our leaders. This was Joe Biden yesterday talking, saying that climate change is the existential threat to humanity.
Well, first of all, I think it is the existential threat to humanity, climate change. It's the most serious problem we face as human beings. We have to keep it below 1.5 degrees Celsius. We've made enormous progress here in the United States.
We've made enormous progress, and they said, what, 1.5 degrees Celsius?
Yeah.
He's not even using Fahrenheit?
No.
I mean, I have no idea what 1.5 degrees Celsius means. What does that translate to, Joe?
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
Former President Obama also said that forget China putting Uyghurs in mass concentration camps. It's troubling, but climate change transcends everything.
Yes.
So all those poor people that are enslaved in the nation of China,
right?
Screw them because climate.
That's correct.
You know, I dealt with China to get the Paris Accords done. I dealt with Modi to get the Paris Accords done because I think climate change is something that transcends, any particular momentary issues. It's a problem that humanity's got to deal with over the next several decades in a serious way. I do think that it is appropriate for the President of the United States, where he or she can, to uphold those principles and to challenge, whether behind closed doors or in public, trends that are troubling. And so I'm less concerned about labels than I'm concerned about specific practices. I think it is important for the President of the United States to say that if you have Uyghurs in China who are being placed in mass camps and re-educated, quote unquote, that's a problem. That's a challenge to all of us.
Is it? Okay.
And we have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I think it is.
It's funny they never talk about that in the mainstream media, right? All we hear is trans rights, the rights of the Ukrainian people. We never hear about the Uyghur people in China, a Muslim subsection of China, in the year 2023, being placed in a concentration camp. Let that sink in for a moment.
Well, because we have more to lose
course.
if we insult China.
Right. Right.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Purely on a, being the president of the United States, you need to, everybody criticized Trump for buddying up with Kim Jong-un and all those people, but you do need to have world leaders, whether they're whatever atrocities are going on in their country, you need to be able to work with some of them. So how do you, do you turn a blind eye to the Uyghur thing and just try and get some sort of agreement with China where you can? Or do you just alienate them completely.
Well, this is what happens when you invest so much financially and economically and production-wise, and everything goes to China, and we're so dependent on China for everything. It's like, how do you truly challenge them and call them out without fracturing your quote-unquote business relationship, since, everything is outsourced to China?
Yeah.
Which also, by the way, I always love, too, when athletes that are Nike athletes always talk about human rights in this country, yet collect $100 million paychecks from Nike that are created in China.
Ain't that the truth?
Under slave wage labor with children. And, oh, by the way, like a lot of the athletes with the Black Lives Matter movement, they never seem to speak up for the Uyghur Lives Matter. I guess all lives don't matter, then, is what they're telling you.
I think if you listen to the different podcasts that are targeted for Black Americans, what's fascinating to me is the Black Lives Matter movement actually turned more African Americans off because of all of the, remember that? They were raising all that money, and then were buying houses and all this real estate and so on and so forth. So I think that all ended up just really blowing up in their faces.
I've said on this show way back in the fall that I think a lot of the donations that went to Black Lives Matter were not from black donors. They were from white liberal women.
Agreed, but ultimately, what did BLM do? So did they infuse resources into, Philadelphia, Chicago? And no, they did nothing towards solution-based. It was all selfish and political. And I think ultimately the African-American community especially in cities like Philadelphia, that's hurting for a multitude of reasons, is really turned off by BLM and feels betrayed.
By the way, can I just say something? I'm on the Team 1210 page, Nick, on your Bend to the Shore race.
Sure.
We're at $3,490.
$10 away from $3,500.
Can somebody right now listening? Can somebody just donate $10 so we can make that an easy?
Can somebody cut a check for $10
so we can make that an easy $3,500?
Yes.
I don't like that we're $10 away from $3,500.
Much like our Instagram followers, you like to round up.
I love to round up. Daniel, if you could put the link in the YouTube chat right now, I will also retweet it. It's Team 1210 on the Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation website. Team 1210 is where you can make the donation. I am retweeting it right now. So help us. I just can't. That $10 thing is just bugging me.
You're not even going to be able to get a cup of coffee and a gallon of gas for that. So you might as well just give it to us.
And it's all to no.
No, it's not to us.
Yeah,
well, to Bend to Shore.
Don't say to us. We're not.
Somebody's just tuning
in.
I
thought the big guy gets 10%.
No, this is all for a charity and for a good
for
cause.
For a nonprofit,
supporting
the families and the widows and some of the
fallen officers.
Yeah, fallen officers, children, first responders, critically injured, recovering. It's an incredible nonprofit.
There you go.
One more, and then we'll find out what's happened on the Dawn Show. Ron DeSantis spoke yesterday. Says that don't tell me that a man can get pregnant and expect me to accept that.
I mentioned that truth needs to be our foundation, and I think one of the biggest threats to truth is the woke mind virus and woke ideology. Some people say, don't worry about this, who cares, just do this, that. I care because, quite frankly, I think that being rooted in truth matters for its own sake. Don't tell me that a man can get pregnant and expect me to accept that. I will not. It is not true. And we're not going to delude ourselves to think otherwise.
He needs to stop with the woke stuff. He really does.
Yeah.
Trump has actually called, and he's got a couple of thoughts for Ron.
Ron has always been a loser.
No.
DeSantis.
Don't tell DeSantis that, though, because the cover of Glam magazine a couple of weeks ago had a man on the cover of the magazine pregnant.
Yeah, if men, biological men, could get pregnant, it might be a good thing for women because maternity leave would go to like 2 years. Okay?
Well, that's well said.
To heal the orifice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. On that note, let's wrap it up and we'll find out what is on tap for the Dawn Show at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay, Anthony Dorenzo, our executive producer, has lined up some great guests for us. So right at 10:05, we're going to update you on some of the breaking news. I-95, Starbucks. Why are the Starbucks employees striking? They're very triggered. So we'll talk about all of that and the lab-created chicken. But right at 10:05, we have a great guest about Delco Republicans suing Delco Council over some changes to election codes. That's a good one right at 10. And then 11 o'clock, the mental health, drug addiction, fueling Pennsylvania's crime problems. So two great guests coming up. It's Todd Shepard is queued up for 10:05. Great guests, great content, breaking news. We got it all covered.
All right, Dawn's coming up in about 6 minutes, and we just eclipsed 3,500.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, thank you, Anne-Marie.
We love you.
I think Anne-Marie was actually on our YouTube chat, and I think she says she's not into bald guys, but Nick, you look really handsome today.
Well, most people would agree with that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And she donated $25, so we're at $35.15.
Oh, God. I asked for 10. I just asked for 10.
Now too much is too much.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Greg is like Rain Man.
Oh,
$10,
God.
$10. That was 15.
Now, I believe, unless we have two Anne-Maries, I think this is her second donation. Because I recall an Anne-Marie donating last week.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
So tell Greg to go pound sand, Anne-Marie.
Now I need to bring that up. Now we need to get it up to 35, 35.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to $5,000. There's no doubt. We got a month to go.
Nick, we want to see the weekend workouts. You got to tweet this out.
Yeah.
We want to see as you do the workouts and progress. It could be fun.
Yes. I don't know. Am I allowed to tweet, Greg? I just want to run this by the boss.
If it's for Ben to the Shore, for the
If
workout.
it's for a good cause, then
right?
yes.
Okay. All right. I'll post a video on me, my little gym bike later this week.
In your little tight gym shorts?
Yeah. I'll even wear a helmet inside. I'll be like,
Anne-Marie might donate another $100.
I'll be like, jeez. All right, let's find out who won Twitter today.
Yeah. Who won Twitter?
Let's wrap up this week, shall we? Chris Eppolito, of course, you win Twitter, my friend. The picture of Chris Christie napping on the plane. So apparently Chris is a regular stratosphere napper and is being photographed from 7 years. This is a photograph from 7 years ago. Laugh out loud.
Okay.
So Chris Eppolito wins Twitter today.
All right, that'll do it for us. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend.
Just put it up on YouTube.
Oh, jeez. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next, and as DJT would say,
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Good night, everybody.
My